Hey everybody, it is your girl Tasha, known to the world as Latasha Carpenter, but everybody calls me your girl Tasha because when you hang with me, what? It is like you are hanging with your girl. And y'all know what my favorite word is. It is BAM, because I'm always being authentically me. And tonight, guys, I just want to encourage you to make sure that whether you're joining us on Facebook or you're joining us on YouTube or however you're watching us, that you make sure that you share and the like. If you're on YouTube, get the link, text it to somebody right now, get people on, because tonight is a very, 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 very important event that we're presenting to you. Okay. Just to let you know, we are about to talk about what hurts men. Okay. Men hurt too. And I'm going to keep it a little bit real, because the guys, they're backstage right now, so they should be able to hear what I'm saying. But I was having a conversation with Queen Afi, who is actually the founder of Domestic Violence Wears Many Tags. And I was telling her, you know what? These brothers have sent me all kind of information. This is my BAM thing, because they know that Queen just had a conversation with them, right? But you know how your girl Tasha is. She going to just put it out there, right? The thing is that all these brothers knew the reason why we were coming here. But when it came to them sending me information about them in advance, because I don't know all of the panels, some of them are returning people, they kind of shied away from what the topic was. But see, that lets me know, because it made me call Queen and say, Queen, hold on, wait a minute. We talk about men hurt too, right? We talk about the domestic violence aspect of things. And the fact that people, that they all have some kind of testimony about that. But most of them didn't mention it, right? And then when I listened to Queen, because for those of y'all who are just joining, this is your girl Tasha, third year hosting this event, right? But something clicked just an hour before we got on tonight, talking to Queen, when it comes to her vision, and probably to the misconception that has brought some of you guys here. Because I'm going to keep it real. Some of y'all on this broadcast because you think it's funny. What? A victim of domestic violence? Some of you on this broadcast because you know you're probably the person that's going out there and you're abusing someone. There are other ones who are on this broadcast because you truly want to become educated. Whatever reason you came here, whatever reason why these men is on the panel tonight, there's going to be some deliverance tonight about this topic. And one thing it made me do is that what I've decided, it's not going to be about putting up a whole bunch of different statistics and all this other stuff. When it comes to your girl Tasha tonight, I'm on this Mac computer, so y'all gonna be seeing some things popping on the screen that might not seem like they should be up, but that's okay. I'm gonna make it happen because I gotta get down to this. What I did want to do is to bring up, let me get to it. Don't worry about what y'all seeing on the screen, because I'm not gonna worry about it. I had, after talking to Queen, it made me go to the dictionary and pull up the meaning of domestic, okay? The meaning of domestic. Because when y'all think about domestic violence, one of the things that Queen is good at doing is letting us know that domestic violence is not just about not physical things that you see. Okay, it can come in so many other different ways, whether it's verbal, whether it's mental, whether it's financial, all this stuff, right? But when I talked to her today, I've learned that her vision is so much more, because domestic, the meaning, guys, is relating to the running of a home or to a family's relations. Relating to the running of a home or to a family relation. So for that, to me, this men hurt too is about what's bothering our men that they can't talk about, or what we as women may be doing to our men, whether it's physical or just how we upbring them because we're being single mothers, all this other kind of stuff. It's about that. And just maybe tonight, if we fix that, then maybe you won't have so many angry brothers out there. So many things that's going on. So I'm going to tell y'all, in the last hour, your girl Tasha got fired up. And that's all I got to say. But what we're going to do is we're going to be bringing up, we got some people coming on. Keep on sharing, guys. Keep on sharing. Hey, Raymond Matthews, how you doing? Hey, Michael Gwen, what good is my master's degree if it can't be mastered of me? Michael Gwen, all right. Hey there. All right, thank you, Andre Johnson. Please keep sharing. Okay, so anyway, we're going to get started, because I'm going to tell you guys, get ready to get uncomfortable, because your girl Tasha not going to be playing with you guys tonight. Y'all just don't even know about the conversation that Queen and I had before this. And it put a whole different fire up underneath your girl Tasha. So we're going to get down to it. We're going to start with the panel. I'm going to bring them up individually. And each one of them are going to tell you a little bit about themselves. Okay. So as I maneuver, because I'm here by myself tonight, get some things going on here. Make sure we look cute. Bam. As I said, the 9th annual Men Hurts 2. First person that we have coming up. Let me find him on the screen. This that being authentically me thing. It's a whole bunch of y'all out there that think that y'all could do, that you got to have everything perfect. Not your girl, Tasha. Bam. All right. So, gentlemen, I didn't tell you, when you pop on the screen, that means it's your time to share. How are you, sweetheart?
It ain't rocket science. But how y'all doing? My name is Che Bullock, and I am the co-founder of Change Agents LLC, and we focus on trauma-informed care, peer support, and evaluating community organizations, and also hospital-based violence intervention programs. I'm also, if I didn't say it, I'm gonna say it again. I'm the executive producer of Life After the Gunshot. If you guys haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out. It's on YouTube right now. The hottest documentary in the city right now. So one of the reasons why I thought this panel was, so important, and I told Queen this when she came on our podcast, is that men don't get the platform to talk about, how they feel. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I appreciate Queen, just creating this platform, for men to talk on. So, you can get some of the questions, that you ask, right? Society, the world, what's wrong with the black man? Shit, the black man traumatized. The black man hurt. And I'm gonna share with you guys a couple personal experiences, that I went through growing up and experiences today. So, the first time that I felt like my feelings was hurt or I went through some shit, I was like 9 years old, right? And I remember, living in the city, and I remember my mother was dating, this guy, and this guy used to fuck her up, punch her in her face, throw her in the walls, throw her down steps, break her fingers, all types of shit. And I remember being that young, and I remember seeing that. So of course, when a child sees that, what it's going to do to him? It's going to traumatize him immediately. So I was traumatized at a very, very young age. And watching my mother get her ass beat, it made me feel less of a person, because I felt like I shouldn't have been seeing that. You know what I mean? And I remember this. It's fucking 20, 22, 23 years later. And I used to always ask my mother, why you stay? And you know what she would tell me? She would tell me, go sit your ass down somewhere. And not saying, that's the wrong response. But I will say this. If I got to see it, it's my issue. Period. If I got to see it, it's my issue. And I remember the gentleman, I'm not gonna call the nigga a gentleman, but the nigga that she was dating, he used to, Christmas time, Thanksgiving time, used to come around. And because I wasn't his son, he used to, make me stay at home, or tell her to make me stay at home. So I'm 11, 12 years old, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day, I'm in the house by myself, right? And what that did was I became depressed, very depressed. And I remember, sitting, in the house, and we was in an apartment, and I remember walking on the balcony, and I remember sitting on the balcony. Then I remember climbing up on the rail, and I remember my feet dangling from the balcony. And we were on like the 18th, 19th floor. You know what I mean? At that particular time, I was thinking about killing myself. I'm not sure what made me, step off the ledge, what made me take my ass back in the house. You know what I mean? God, honestly. I mean, that's all it could be. So yeah, I went back in the house, and I remember just sitting there crying. And I remember my mom coming home a day later, no Thanksgiving plate, nothing. You know what I mean? Even when it was Christmas time, no presents, nothing. So now I'm looking at her like, not only did you leave me in the house because that nigga ain't want me there, you left me in there then you don't bring nothing back for me. So at that particular time, a hatred for my mother started to trigger. You know what I mean? And I think that's what made me look at women totally different. Because I'm like, if my mother can do this to me, anybody can do this to me, right? And I think that we got to understand that, our children see everything, when it comes down to it. It's a must. You know what I'm saying? We got to understand that. You understand what I'm saying? So, a couple years passed, and I guess she went through some shit with the nigga. You know what I mean? And now I'm getting my ass beat. Now she fucking me up. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm 13 years old. She punching me in my chest. She punching me in my jaw, stomping me out. You know what I mean? And I'm a teen. I'm a young teen at that. You understand what I'm saying? So when I actually stood up, I'm like, sorry, you ain't doing that shit no more. Then I had to get out the house. Then I went to the streets. You know what I mean? So it's like, when it come down to it, your mother's the one that's supposed to love you the most, right? Show you that compassion, feel your love tank up. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of men don't get that. You know what I mean? A lot of men, mothers, take them through traumatizing situations. Bottom line, you know what I mean? We got to call a spade a spade. And I think that in order for us to get better, number one, our fathers got to come back in the house and the mothers got to allow it. So, Miss Queen talked, a lot about, domestic violence and, things of that nature. What we have to understand that breaking your man down, that's domestic violence. Telling that nigga he a deadbeat, telling that nigga he ain't gonna never be shit, telling I'm gonna call the police. So all that is considered domestic violence. You understand what I'm saying? So, we just got to do better, as people in articulating. I see you, Tasha.
Yeah, we're gonna keep this on time, guys. Please know. Ooh, look, there go the timer going off. Look, I'm not playing. I got the timer, everything. Yes, thank you guys. Some comments that came up on the screen. Scott, Jennifer, and Michael, they was all like, wow, oh no, this was a rejection and abandonment. And they was filling your story. Guys, again, share and abide because this is very important. Please share and abide. Jennifer just talked about is total verbal abuse. Absolutely. So understand, Shay's going to be coming back with us, but right now, Shay, I do want to have them know how they can contact you. So just share that information. But know he's coming back as a whole panel. All the brothers going to talk with y'all. And we want you to stay tuned. A brother that's hurting, get him on here because we're even going to be opening up the phone lines where you could call in too later on. So share this. Let's get some high numbers and share this. So go ahead, Shay. Tell them how they can connect with you.
Hey, you guys see at the bottom of the screen, bullets_with_no_name. That's my Instagram. You guys see the bullock management at gmail.com. Feel free to shoot me an email. Feel free to reach out through Queen. Hey, peace and love. I appreciate y'all. Tasha, I won't be back for the panel. I have a prior meeting set up. So you can just shoot me the information, guys. Peace and love.
All right, but Shay, I'm pretty sure if anyone had a comment for you, if they leave it here too, you'll be going back and checking the comments and you'll personally respond to them as well too, right?
For sure.
All right, thank you for joining us, my brother.
Take care.
You too. All right, next up, let's get them. Hey. Mr. Tay Love, how you doing? Unmute for us. Can't hear you. You muted, babe. Okay, there you go. Give it the floor.
You can hear me? All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Tay Love. I'm a 25-year-old recording artist, educator, and I am a peer mentor for a lot of young people in the DC area, in the DMV area. So I'm currently working through some of my, past hurts and finding new coping strategies and stuff like that. So I do want to be a little brief because I don't want to feel triggered while I'm talking to y'all, even though I want to share my story to help somebody out there. I'm currently working through it myself, and that's just full transparency and just being authentic with y'all. But I took some notes because I didn't want to get tripped up. Some of the things that I've learned in my process of managing my emotions and coping with stress is I've learned that, you know, for myself, I struggled with instant gratification through some habits that weren't so healthy for myself as I dealt with, you know, as I've been seeking to heal from some of my traumatic pain. One of the most traumatic things for me is I lost my father. So with that, I just been and see, I'm trying to pace myself uh, to catch my thoughts and manage my emotions even on the set. Um, because for myself, I'll go this direction. For myself, I used to, I struggled or was addicted to masturbation. So that was really my biggest coping strategy. And I feel like from my own experience and from the people that I've met, a lot of young people, youth, young adults struggle with that habit, and it can become an addiction that can be detrimental to your mental health, to a man or woman's mental health. Um, and I'm just a living witness to it. I'm outgrowing it and I'm seeking to find stronger coping strategies to help me better my mental health. And I'm in the thick of it, and I'm thankful to people like Tasha and people like Queen of Fee that have helped me even develop the courage to speak on this because it's something that a lot of men don't speak on. Men or women, this is not just a man thing, but even though we're on a male panel, speaking to the brothers that struggle with masturbation, pornography addiction, it is something that should be discussed more. It is something that is detrimental to a person's mental health because it's a very addictive behavior and it can cause you to feel feelings of hopelessness without it. But I'm here to tell you that I've gone almost 2 months without it. And I've done it ever since I lost my father. It was a habit that I had ever since I lost my father. And I'm developing the strength to even say it to you all right now. And that's why I ain't trying to look at the chat right now, but I do appreciate y'all so much for the encouragement in the chat. As I'm just speaking my heart right now because I know it's going to help somebody that's struggling with masturbation. I want to say this for myself: masturbation was something that was tied to my self-esteem, you know, and that's why it's so important to speak out about it because our self-esteem shouldn't be attached to our habits. Our self-esteem should be attached to our identity and our personality and our strengths, and not our habits, and or not even to our jobs or our possessions, because those are the things that we have, or those are the things that we do, but it's not who we are. Um, and I'm learning that in the process, and I'm in the early stages of that process, and I'm glad to be on this platform to talk to y'all about it. I think there's one more thing I wanted to share. Um, one more thing I wanted to share, and I'm failing to. I think that was actually it. I just want that was my heart right there, and if there are any questions, I would love to answer those.
So we'll wait to take questions, Tay. But you said it was hard for you to look at the chat. You had Raymond Matthews that told you, bottom line, you got it, Tay. Andre said it's all right. Take your time. Celeste said it's okay not to be okay. You are so strong and courageous. Thank you for being brave and sharing your stories. Michael Gwen said, brave brother say that. The triangle said, share your word. And Scott said, amen to what you're saying, brother. So, that's what we have you here for. We're so glad to have you on the panel this year. One more comment came up and said from Raymond said, I know it's hard, but how do you feel getting out? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you go ahead now. I'm gonna go up and let you answer that.
Yeah, I would love to share that as my, if it's my final thought, or if I have a little more time. But how I feel coming out is I feel very vulnerable coming out. There have been times within this process that I've been going through where I have had feelings of hopelessness, and I've been able to uncover that through working with Queen of Feet, through domestic violence, wears many tags. But I've been able to identify if you asked me when I first came out, I wouldn't have been able to put a feeling to it, but I've have had thoughts of hopelessness and feeling weak, because I was so dependent upon that. Um, but now, where I'm at now, I feel much stronger to even be able to speak about it and to develop stronger coping strategies and to develop stronger routines. And I can't go without saying I have to give the credit to God who has shown me this stuff, because there's times I bring this stuff to my counselor and they say, man, you know more than, I bring these insights to my counselor of what this process is like. And then I have to give credit to my support system like Queen Fee, my mom, my grandma, and my family. I can't go without saying that they've strengthened me in the process of coming out. Yeah.
All right. And just to share with them, you are sticking around with us for the whole event, correct?
Yeah, for the most part, yes. I'll be here, yeah.
Okay. So let them know how they could contact you as well.
Yeah, so you can contact me on Instagram at I am Tay Love. It's on the screen there. You can also reach out to my email at iamtaylove@gmail.com. And feel free to connect with me on Facebook at Taquan Davidson. And I could probably put that in the chat somewhere. But feel free to email me or reach out to me on Instagram. That's my primary contact. And thank you
All
guys
right.
for listening.
All right. You see the last message. Keep your head up, brother. It's all a part of God's plan for your life. All right, Tay. We'll be back with you. Okay. So next up, at this point, guys, we're mixing things in together. Of course, as we give this information, y'all should notice that the National Hotline for Domestic Violence number is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. But we also have some people that are here to actually share resources as well, too. So I'm bringing up our next person on the screen with us. Let me get Tay's information off the screen. Flipping back and forth, flipping back and forth. All right. It's all up for you, Mr. Jason.
Hey, how y'all doing? As y'all see, my name is Jason Lewis. I'm a fourth generation Washingtonian. I work for the DC Department of Parks and Recreation. I'm going on my 16th year. I've been doing team programming out of those 16 years, probably 14 of them. I've known Queen Afee for a long time. We've done a lot of projects together. Just listening to the brother just came before me, Tay Love. Salute. I've been in the same situation with my dad. I lost my dad in 2013, April 8th, 2013, and that was my man. So it was one of the wounds that it scars you, but the bleeding just stops a little bit, but it never heals. So I understand definitely how that is and how that could be a traumatic experience. Um, just dealing with situations in my life in general, never really been a situation of domestic violence. Never saw that in my household. My parents would have been married 43 years, I think, this year. Um, Never saw my mother and father argue, and my father always instilled in us never to put our hands on a woman. So that's always been one of my monikers. Never been in those situations, and I spread that word as well to the young people that I work with, and just seeing young people in the communities that I work with. I see, like Chase said earlier, it's definitely a situation. It starts at home with a lot of cases. I've seen kids, young men, whose mothers have sent them to the liquor store, the corner store to buy roll-ups for them to smoke with. They smoke together, and it's kind of crazy because during the pandemic, some of the kids that I used to deal with, I wasn't seeing them because we were shut down. And one of the young men that I was just speaking about, who was doing that, as soon as I got back this week to the center that I work at, I asked about him, and I heard that he's incarcerated now. So it was kind of like a hit of a situation where a parent actually contributed to the downfall of their child. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of, guiding in the right direction and putting him in a position where he could be successful, she basically, put him in situations that she thought was cool because she was living her second childhood rather than being a parent. And it led to him being incarcerated. So that's I see that a lot often. I see kids that come in who do have both parents in the household, that there's been situations where there's domestic violence, whether it's physical or mental, or vocal, verbal abuse. And those things kind of like trickle down from the top to the bottom. And then, you know, if you see that on a daily basis, you think that it's cool, or that's actually, you know, a healthy part of being in a relationship when it's really toxic. Um, the opportunity for a young man or even a young woman to continue that cycle is so high when they see that from the people that they love or the people that they are around 24/7. So in my position of working with these kids, it's kind of like saying that it's a tug of war. I'm with them for so many hours out of the day, and then, you know, they go back home. So it's like, you know, you get to see me for maybe 4 hours, but you're in that environment for the rest of the day. So it's kind of like where I could take a step forward when I'm at direct center or I'm at a program, but then I got to take 2 steps back when I go home because this is what I'm faced with. So, you know, we try to offer as many programs as possible to try to counteract those habits and those activities that they're typically seeing, um, without getting too deep in the household and you know, trying to really get inside of the family and understand. I mean, we offer opportunities for the adults as well, but um, we all know that we believe that it starts with the children. Like the children, if we could change the narrative going with them first, we have a better future coming up. But if we continue to allow them to see the things that they shouldn't see and promote the things that they shouldn't do or see, they're going to think it's the norm, and it's going to be a problem. I've been working with kids my whole life. I feel like God put me on this earth to do that. All my jobs, from summer jobs when I was 16, 17 years old, working at rec centers, I worked in group homes, and I got back in DPI, like I said, for 16 years. So I seen a little bit of everything, and it's kind of crazy. You think they're working in a recreation center. It's just, you know, people, kids coming to the playground, but you learn so much about families and family settings where, you know, the kids are there until you lock the door. Sometimes, man, you gotta give them a ride home. They live around the corner. You know, you going into the house, man. He's saying they ain't got no lights on or the heat not working. You know, and sometimes you gotta, man, go out your pocket and help contribute to their household so that they, you know, they won't feel embarrassed and they can have the tools they need to be successful. So with myself, I'm here. I'm here. I'm in the community every day, all day. My phone stays on 24/7. Um, I'm a resource. If I don't know how to help you, I probably know somebody that can. Um, and it's hard at me. It's hard. I'm very approachable. I'm a people person. Um, I'm around. I'm around. I'm around. So parents, if you got kids you got problems with, you can holler at me. Kids, if you watching and you got parents that you need some help with, you can holler at me. I'm around. I'm on the concrete every day I'm in the city. I also work with backyard band, so I see a lot of parents in the go-go. I see a lot of times when I know you're supposed to be at home with your kids and you're in there partying. You know what I'm saying? I pull you up, might say something. Well, what's up? Who watching the kids? So just know it's all good. I'm here for y'all.
All right, Jason. So tell me something. I put your contact information up on the screen for people to find it and follow you on IG and if they want to email you. But can you just shed some light on how hard it is to gain the trust of the youth for them to even share with you what's going on? Because of course, you know, a lot, especially in our Black families, we're taught to keep what's in the house and not to be able
Yeah,
to talk about it. So can you just share with people, how do you go about ice breaking and getting through to our youth to get them to talk to you?
I mean, I'm honestly, to be perfectly honest, I'm a victim of that myself. Like, I've never been the type of person that like to share my issues or what's going on in my mind up to this day. I'm 39 years old, before in November. So it's like, you know, understanding that mental health and talking to people is so taboo in our communities that we got to change the stigma of holding things in until that bomb explodes. You know, that's why so many times we see um people, they just go off of the edge and do all types of things. You be like, why would somebody do that? But they never really understood what that person was going through for years at a time. And then it's just that one thing, is that straw that breaks the camel's back, and it sets them off. So building relationships and trust, it's my thing is a thing of consistency. And for myself, my first my first 7 years working at DPI, I never missed a day of work. Like, never. I had wisdom teeth taken out, operations, all types of stuff. I've never missed a day of work. And out of my 16 years, um, I might have missed 8 days in 16 years. So even kids like, man, Jason, when you gonna go on a vacation, or you always here? And I'm like, I'm here for y'all. You feel me? So like, I'll have that time to vacate and all of that when my time is up. But right now, my focus is on, you know, providing the service and making sure that everything is everything. But it's consistency. It's consistency with the kids. Like, because that's one thing that they, in certain neighborhoods and certain communities, they don't get. They don't consistently see their parents, or they don't consistently see their fathers. They don't consistently have a meal. They don't consistently have the attention of their mother. They don't consistently have this, that, and the third. So building that trust and being there every day and never judging, just listening and giving an honest opinion without making them feel like they're wrong for whatever they're going through. It you know, I got a young person out here right now. He's grown now. Like, he really calls me dad. He called me pops. You know what I'm saying? Like what's up, pop? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's up, son? You know, because we built that relationship that he knows that if it come down to it, I'm gonna go to war for him. You know what I'm saying? Right, wrong, and indifferent. So it's just having that trust.
All right, all right. We got Eloise Kelly, honey. If I say your name wrong, I'm sorry, but okay. She said you are as sick as your secrets, And someone else said yes. They agree with you. In the stigma, by sharing your story, you help encourage others to share theirs, so they don't feel alone. You could save someone's life, and that's what it's all about. We need to do. If we just reach one, teach one. I'm gonna say Eloise again. Elois, girl, honey. Bam. Look, it is so important for our young men to have a safe space to share their feelings. I applaud every brother here tonight. And Lauren, Elois, she put on there Elois. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go with Elois. And we also had another person. Salute the Kings for sharing the testimonies tonight. Jason.
One last thing in regards to that comment. It is very important for that safe space. Like, it's been times I've taken guns off of young men, for all types of reasons. Kids have said, "Look, man, my mother messed the money up this month. We don't have no lights on. I'm about to go get it. I'm about to go get it myself." And took pistols on these kids and told them, like, "Look, it's two ways you're gonna go. You're gonna run up on somebody with that pistol that's gonna have one that's gonna do you in, or you're gonna have to do some football years when the police gonna come and grab you up." So, like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to get our hands dirty and contribute ourselves to make sure that these kids can maintain and have a little bit of leeway so that they can be kids. There's no reason that a son has to be the man of the house. There's no reason. They should have the opportunity to be a young man and grow and become a man through the process versus having to be a man before they can be a child. Because when the time turns around and they're an adult, that's when they start the immature behavior and they don't know how to, express it. That's no over DC jail.
Yes, and look, I know we're going to touch base on that a whole nother time. The way we making our young boys feel like they gotta be the man of the house, especially when it comes to us single mothers, that we feel that we got abandoned. We'll tell our kids, "Oh, you the man of the house now." No, they're not the man of the house, and you don't know what implication or how you're harming that child when it comes to their future. Absolutely, I know we'll talk about that more. I'm sorry, you are one of the people that have to leave early tonight, right? Well, you know. Click on and join us on Facebook. Try to comment, listen in. I wish that you could stay around, but that's all right. We thank you so much for being present and being a resource to our youth. Carolyn White Washington want to say thank you, brothers, for having a heart to share and help save our youth. Bless you all. All right. See you later, Mr. Jason.
One left.
Stay out that bed. Okay. All right, guys. That's a little joke between me and Jason from earlier before we got started. And we're going to move on to our next panel person here. Who do we have coming up? Bam.
Oh.
What you doing standing up? Caught you off guard, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I'm giving the floor to you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Tariq Cunningham. I'm the owner and founder, CEO of Keep It Real. I work with youth and men all across the city. Been doing this work for about 15 years since I've been home, going on now. And I'm a victim of domestic violence as well as an educator to a lot of my young people that I work with, primarily young males. I do work with females as well, but I find that a lot of times the young males, they need a lot more attention to understanding the pearls behind domestic violence, because a lot of times we don't see it as men that we're going through it. Case in point, I myself was educated some years ago upon meeting Queen Afee due to the fact that I didn't realize that a lot of the relationships that I had undergone were uh, systematic to domestic violence. I grew up in a household experiencing domestic violence, but I always thought, and it was sort of, I guess, embedded in me that domestic violence was always the man striking a woman. And that was just it. But in speaking with and being educated by Queen, I learned that it was other facets that attain to domestic violence. A lot of times, for example, we as men, we don't understand that just being called out our name by a female that we say we care about or we love is a form of domestic violence in its verbal sense. As a young man, I was a father at an early age, fresh out of high school, and it was given that I couldn't come to the house to see my daughter unless I had something in hand. If I didn't have anything in tow, I couldn't see my daughter. And if I did see it, it was very briefly, and it was outside of the unit that she lived in, an apartment building, up on the 3rd floor, but it was outside of the unit in the hallway, which was very degrading because it made me not want to really hold my daughter. I couldn't interact with my daughter. I mean, she was an infant at this time, so what can I do? So it became a thing of, at that time, me not having a lot of money, having to find ways in which I had to make money. So it pushed me to the street a lot further. And once I got out there, then it became a thing of, you need to have this and you need to have that. So then it became a financial thing of, me having to have that money in order just to see my child or to spend time with my child. And a lot of times I run into a lot of my young men who are having children at young ages. And the most fearful of them is the ones that's having kids that are still in high school. I'm talking about young men as young as 15, 16 years old. They're in the 10th, 11th grade. Some of them in the 9th grade because they haven't been going to school that much. But to have these young men having in mind that they want to change and they want to be more of a man to their child and more of a dad to their child than their own father was. Just to share a brief story, I had a young man who really comes to mind right now. He was 17, getting ready to turn 18. Found out he had a young lady that was pregnant. And he came to me, he asked me the question that he wanted to talk to me about some things. So we went out, I wanted to take him somewhere so we could sit down and really talk. So we took him out to a restaurant. We sat there and we started talking. And before we could even really get into the conversation, he started shedding tears saying, man, I don't know my father. If I knew my father, I would know how to be a father to my child, but I don't know who my father is. And he said all he knew was his mother. But in him only knowing his mother, he expressed that his mother always cursed him out. She always told him how he wasn't never gonna be nothing. Said things like, you just like your father. So it made him sort of pull away from doing certain things that kept having those words reiterated to him. And I had to let it be known to him that that's domestic violence. And when he said those things, and I had to explain to him, what that is. And then I said, do you get, how do you feel about the young lady that's having this baby? Do y'all have, arguments? Do y'all get into verbal disputes? He said, yeah. I said, do she call you out your name? He said, all the time. I said, that's because you gotten so used to your mom doing it. And this is something that Queen taught me. A lot of times the things that we learn or see from our parents, we in tune take that on ourselves in our growing up and going into adulthood. So long story short, I had to let this young man know that this was not a healthy relationship. Upon the child being born, he went again through those same perils that I went through. If he didn't have no money, he couldn't come through. He couldn't see the baby, all this other kind of stuff. After some time, we did help him graduate. He did get his high school diploma. He ended up getting a good paying job and everything. And even right now, I'm happy to say that he has custody of his child because the mom wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing. So, I find myself really trying to educate a lot of these young men because, we come across these pearls, like I said, so many times that we just don't understand it, and just understanding the breakage of what we was taught growing up. We ain't supposed to cry, tough it up, suck that up, be a man. You know, how you gonna be a man and you 9 years old or you 12 years old? You know, and I heard a lot of that. Or growing up and seeing your dad and he dealing with all these different random women, but your mom knows this is going on, but she's accepting it. You know, to where and now it makes you feel like this is what you're supposed to do because it's accepted. My mom took it, so why my girl ain't gonna take it? Why she ain't gonna accept it? You know, so a lot of us get into this player mode, like this is what we're supposed to be doing. You know, so in telling these young men these type of things, you know, it's not cool. You know, it's not cool at all. And I really pride myself on trying to, you know, just educating, like I said, these young men, because a lot of them just don't understand what they're going through. I see young men with scratches on their necks. And, you know, I got one young man in the hospital right now because his girlfriend stabbed him. But yet he got 2 kids by this young lady. And every time, you know, after the first time he got stabbed, we tried to move him out the way. He went right back to and then got stabbed again. You know, again, this is domestic violence. You know, she constantly calling the police on him. Now he got all these charges and he's still going to court. But you've been stabbed up and you're going through surgery. He just went through surgery recently. You know, so it, like, again, the pearls of this is very true. It's very factual and it's right in front of us a lot of times. And we just, you know, we step right over it. A lot of women don't even realize some of the things that they do and partake in that are attributed to domestic violence. You know, a lot of women, after being the victim, you know, and going through domestic violence, turn out to be now the predator. You know, now they gotta have that sharp tongue the way they ain't letting you say nothing to them. They real sharp with it. They gonna call you out. They gonna do this, that, and the other, and they gonna let you know this. You know, let you know what it is and what it's gonna be. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I can't hear you. I'm not hearing you. Okay,
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you. I gave you more than 5 minutes because, see, this brother is a seasoned brother. He's been on the panel many of times. So I knew that he had some, not just nuggets to drop, but some boulders to drop for you. But we're going to touch them a little bit more. But you got some comments. They're moving kind of quick. I'm going to try to get them here. Hampton Conway said, yes, we must change the narrative regarding what it means to be a man. Gwen Barnett said, my son has a very difficult time opening up. He also saw his father abuse me. So as he grows up, he has also abused me and others. So it does start with the kids. Raymond Matthew says, your brothers are helping somebody somewhere. Oh, y'all. Some of y'all just tagging people. Keep on tagging people. Tell them to get on here. Share it. Share it on your page too. I see all the names coming up that y'all tagging. Keep on tagging. Scott, Delita Scott, I think is probably. So what do you say to our kids when we are single mothers trying to make them grow up to be a strong man since we can't say man up?
Then where's your father at? Where's a man at around these women that they find to be an honorable man? And that's what they need to do. I find a lot of times that you get these women, and nothing against the women, because I applaud you for all that you do, believe me. But I find that it's very, very degrading in a sense when a woman says to a young man, say, for example, Father's Day coming up, I'm your mother and your father. You just downgraded all what this young man is growing up to be. We have to find those mentors. We have, even if it's not a mentor per se title, but just a coach, a teacher, you know, somebody around you, a brother, you know, a male colleague at work, you know, somebody that these young men or find some type of group. I just started a group called Fathers, Men, and Boys, where I have multi-generational ages of men and young men working together. My youngest man in this group is 9 and my oldest is 50. So we have to find those conversations to get those young men around other men.
So Tariq, I don't know if we really answered her question. I mean, you're telling her to find if the woman has a father that's reputable that they can model or something with their child, or going to find other mentors. But her question is directly as a mother, as a single mother. She's asking for what else can she say to a child as the mother? What can the mother say to the son besides man up to help him grow up as a strong man? What can she say if she be saying anything?
Okay. In that sense, I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. What can she say? That's a hard one. That's really hard. Because it really depends on the situation. But I think the safest thing to say is not necessarily man up, but more so, do you think that's what a man would do? Sort of turn it around on him and have him think on it. Because a lot of times our children, they are taught right from wrong. They know when they're doing wrong. Just think about it. When you step in the room and they're doing something, they try to stop and they try to hide. So they know. We have that innate ability. We understand right from wrong. So a lot of times it's more so bringing it to them. So turn it around on them and ask him, do you think that's what a man would do? Is that right? Don't say the man up, because you got to think about it. You got a lot of men out here that's in the image of a man and they doing some foul stuff. So it ain't necessarily about just manning up. It's what do you think a proper man should do in that situation?
So, Delita, I hope that as I redirected the question, I see you had your subsequent message here to say that she had no clues because my dad was a ghost in my life. So I'm trying. Okay. So now so he missed your question at first. I hope that what he just shared with you is helpful to you. And we also have some people that also said in the background, some of the people are chiming in from our backstage saying that you might be to say that I found a mentor, but we're going to get into more discussion about that too, because maybe we need to discuss as far as, how do you select the mentor that's going to be right for a son or something.
And it's a big subject.
And how do you find another man? We here talking about men hurt too. So how do you know that the mentor, it's like you go to a marriage counselor and they're divorced. How do you find a man that's in touch with his emotions is okay, it's not taboo for me to share that sometimes I need to cry or that I've been hurt or something. So that's going to be something more in the discussion as well too. Okay. Exactly. Exactly there. So let me keep on. Hello. Hey, Terrence. We still cut. Okay. Share this to your group. Y'all keep on doing that. Okay. Good evening, driving, can't comment, but I did share. All right, thank you, Michelle, for Delita says she's with you now. You got her straight now. She's saying thank you. And yes, ma'am, is what it did it. Okay, so now tell them how to connect with you, Tariq, and we'll get this person up.
You can reach me via email through keep.it.real@msn.com. My number you can reach me at, and I pretty much sleep with my phone on, so I don't work no 9 to 5. I am a 24/7 individual, and my number you can reach me at directly is 202-607-3728. And again, I'm owner and founder of Keep It Real, and I work with youth and families all across the city. So please, if you need anything, I'm certified as a first responder in street intervention. I'm a restorative justice circle facilitator as well, and a fatherhood facilitator and master trainer.
All right. Thank you so much, Tyreek. We'll be back with you. I know you hanging around. You're not going nowhere.
I'll be around.
All right. Thanks. All right. Next up. Oh, look, Chad, I need y'all to get ready because we already know it's something special because these men are on here sharing their stories. But this man right here, I need y'all to draw some happy birthdays in the chat because he here on his birthday, Sharon.
Oh, man.
Let's give him a happy birthday.
Hello, everybody. Man, I just heard so much, man. This is my first time on here, man. My name is Leonard Smith. I'm a coach here at the Trigger Project DC. I'm also the founder of the Sober Living Project. Man, let me go ahead and quickly get in about me, man. At the age of 6, I seen my real mother in the casket. So that was the only vision that I had of my mother. So from that point on in my life, I went to my mother's, her best friend, which was her name was Sanita, and her husband, Ralph. Ralph became my father. Sanita became my abuser. So this is trauma that I'm dealing with women, but not knowing it at this point in time because I'm a child. So at the age of 7, they had a daughter, which is my little sister Purse. And I don't know if you guys know about asbestos or anything like that, but asbestos was around like in the laundry rooms and all that, the stuff, the orange stuff that was in the silver thing. But anyway, my little sister Purse was light skinned. She went and got into that, being a normal 2-year-old, moving around, got into that, so she broke out bad. Sanita, which is my blood real mother's best friend, and came home. I guess she was high off, whatever she was high off. I'm laying in the bed, we're laying on the couch in my grandfather's house, which was Sonita's father's house. And you know it's late at night because MASH is on. I don't know if anybody remember MASH, but anyway, Sonita struck me with a 2x4 on my head. So let me remind you, I'm 7 years old at this point in time. So I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding from my head right here, like a laceration over my eye from a 2x4 because my sister got into something. Sonita thought I did something to my sister. I didn't know what to do. I'm 7 years old, so I'm crying for my daddy. I said, Daddy, 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 because Ralph became my real father. My real father I never knew. So Ralph Andrew Ferguson will always be my father, my daddy, and all that if he was still here. So I didn't know what to do, so I'm crying to him. Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. He's almost, don't call me now, though. He thought that I just got my ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? He thought that I must have did something, got my ass whooped. So when I crawled into his room, into that room with my head leaking and blood, he rushed to me, swooped me up, curved me upstairs. So Anita's father, which is my grandfather, came out of his room like, what the hell is going on and all that. And my father found out that she had hit me. So my father, I'm 7, once again, y'all, but here I am seeing things play out. And I just want to keep things safe. So I see my father put his little pistol in his back pocket. This is his wife. But my father loved me more than he loved his wife. He took a liking to me and you know what I'm saying, that's why I was just so grateful of my father. But as he wants to hit her with this pistol or do whatever he wants to do with this pistol, because I don't know, but I just know I see a gun. And I say, no, Daddy, just take me to the hospital. So from this point on, my life has been traumatized. I'm in and out of foster care. So not really having any parents at all that you have anyone to call your father, your mother. So you're in foster care from the age of 8. I'm trying to fit in. I'm trying to fit in dearly, y'all. I want to be loved. I want to be loved. I want to be cared for. And I want somebody to really mean it because I never felt it in my life. At 6 through 7, you're still learning. You don't know. You don't really know how to love. You don't know what love is really supposed to feel like. All you know is hugs and kisses. That's what you want. So I'm going through the foster care system, man. The foster care system. I'm calling people, my mom, my dad. Some of them love me, some of them don't. But I never really experienced love. You know what I'm saying? And I want to wrap that up so I can get to something else before the time cuts in. So, like, I had this one foster mother, right? This is like when I'm 15, 16, 17 now. And she told me one time, she was like, you're not even my real son. Do you know I'm 35 today? That still hurts me to this day. That still hurts me to this day, dog. And I can't lie. See, that's why people fuck with me so much. Excuse my language, and I'm just keeping it real with you because I keep it real. I share my feelings because I share my pain, hoping I can heal somebody else's. Because I'm still healing through mine. I'm going through it, and that still hurts me to this day. I told Queen that before. That I told Tia Bell that still hurts me to this day. When you all your life you just wanted somebody to love you, and you calling this person mom, she tell you one day you're not even my son. Dog, that broke me down. So let's go on real quick before they cut me off. So man, like I never knew how to really love a woman or to raise children. I learned that daily. You know what I'm saying? So basically, one of my first girlfriends that I had was just older than me, struck me one time, hit me. Oh, just tripping. So how that traumatized me and took me to a place in my life that, okay, shit, she hit me. It's okay to hit women. Dumbass person I was. Man, do you understand how I tarnished a relationship with my kid's mother? I have 3 kids with her. And at one point in time, though, I thought it was just cool to fight her. I would get drunk. I told you I feel like I needed to clean to something, so I cleaned to alcohol. I cleaned to the streets and got punished behind both of them. So like, you know, liquor was my all. I was an alcoholic. Liquor was my all. And I would start fights with my baby mother just so she could say, get out or something like this so I can go drink. I was lost, though. I was really lost. And now I'm going through something slight with my baby mother at this point in time right now. Like, she doesn't see the new me. I just spent the last 3 years of my life in jail for a murder that I did not commit, and I had a mistrial. So I'm home now. And what was so hard with that, like, I thought it was over for me, but I didn't give up. I gave everything to God, and I said, God, if this charge must be me and I must get convicted of this, then I know that there's a reason for it. I had to give it over to. I can't control it. You can't control it. Nobody can control it. God can control it. I don't care what that judge downtown said, because guess what? God holds that judge's hand in his heart, and he turns it as he wills. And he turned that situation around for me to come out and be out here because he know I didn't do it. Now, he said he would never let a lying tongue punish me, and he didn't. But from my old ways of being an alcoholic to being a domestic violence person, as far as putting hands on your baby mother in front of your kids, traumatizing your children, not knowing what you're doing at this time because you never learned yourself. So you're just repeating certain things that you've seen. So it's just about pain talks. I'm about to wrap it up now. So I mean, you know, but like I said, I've been home for a year now. Getting ready to go on to. I've been sober. I've been doing everything I'm supposed to do, just moving right. But like that still triggers and hurts me. So I'm always willing to talk about it. You see my information down here. And I'm starting a sober living project. And that's something that we could talk about, addiction and breaking barriers to it, because we run to addiction thinking that those going to heal our problems when they just make them worse. I love all y'all that's on this panel because I know y'all love me back. Thank you for the birthday wishes. And thank y'all for listening to my pain. And I hope I help heal somebody because I'm healing by sharing. God bless. Can't hear you, Ty.
You're not going nowhere. You acting like you saying goodbye. You know you're going to hang around until the end. Mr. Raymond Matthews said, keep your head up, brother. We are with you. Soul Star Artistry said, dear God, this space for men to share their stories is amazing and so needed. God bless you all, and may you continue to heal. Congratulations on your sobriety and turning things around from Michelle Ford to you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to tell you guys, because I am not shocked. I don't know if y'all felt the higher vibration when Mr. Leonard got on the screen, but that passion and that pain the power moment that he is going through and the story that he's creating in order to help people. It's funny because everybody was supposed to send me a little bit of something about them. He couldn't type it to me. This brother sent me this voice memo, and I'm gonna tell you that voice memo was so chilling that he sent to me that I just knew that it was gonna be so many people that would be healed through your story. So you just hang around, because we're gonna come back and we're gonna be bringing all the brothers up forward. And I just knew you gifted, brother. You gifted. That's what I say. You keep it on track. You gifted. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see who we're going to get. Let me move you down. And next up, let me find them. Bam. Hey, Mr. Marty B.
Word.
It's all on you, baby.
How you doing?
All right. Bless the people.
So, yeah, man, I'm Marty B. I'm an artist. I'm an entrepreneur. Growing up, I didn't have my dad. My dad been locked up since I was 11 years old. So I never knew what a father looked like. I never knew what a man looked like. So I recently just had a son, 2018. So that came from a relationship I was in, and not knowing what domestic violence was, you know, it began to be like a toxic situation, because me not knowing how to love myself, me not knowing what a man looks like, me not knowing like how to be there for myself, I put myself in situations that I didn't know, you know, how to correct, not having a father. So fast forward, and when I had my son, I didn't know how to be a dad. And it's so crazy because my dad is from he's from Maryland, but my son was born in Atlanta. So when basically after my son was born, I had to go to court, you know, the deadbeat stuff, you know, you don't take care of your son, you ain't going to see him, this and that. So me being me, I moved to DC. I'm like, this not happening, because in my heart of heart, I didn't have no family because my dad been locked up. So I always wanted a family. I always wanted to be a dad. So I'm like, ain't nobody gonna take that away from me just cause like he say, she say, basically. So I moved to DC to get my son. I slept in cars, I slept on people's floor to be there for my son. And through that, and just through trying to be a dad, like I realized I didn't like that my dad not being there like hurt me bad. You know what I'm saying? Not even knowing that, because I got a son look just like me, got my same name, and I'm trying to figure out how to be who I'm supposed to be for him. How do I make sure he don't go through what I done went through? because I know how it felt not to have like somebody basically see the dad in the family is the one that protect everybody. So when like a daughter or a son grow up without no dad, he feel like he ain't got no protection. He feel like the world could just do anything to him because he don't have no protection. So that's how I felt. I moved a lot when I was growing up, so I always felt like I had to shelter myself. So I didn't talk a lot. I was by myself a lot, and me and my mom we struggled a lot. So a lot of problems or a lot of things that I was feeling inside, I ain't had nobody to tell. I didn't have no real like father figure because like my dad wasn't around. So fast forward, when I get up here and I'm fighting for my son, I don't really know how to be a dad. All I got to go off is basically the relationships that I seen with my mom and like what I heard them say about men. I didn't know how to be a dad. I didn't even know how to be a man. But from an early age, I had to step up and be a man because we moved a lot. So a lot of times I had to protect my mom because it was no man in the house. It was nobody there to make sure things got taken care of. So fast forward, when I had to be there for my son, like it was a pain. It was a pain that like I basically had to face because like this is what I've been dealing with my whole life of like somebody not being there. But now I had to be there for somebody else, somebody that's like I made this my son, and I didn't know like it scared the shit out of me. It scared the shit out of me, but I was so ready to do it because I wanted to make sure that my son didn't have to go through the same thing I went through. I wanted to make sure, like, yo, he got somebody to look at. Say, yo, he riding, whatever. And I wanted my son to have that. So going through that, like, I got the verbal abuse of, same thing my OG was talking about. Basically getting the short visits. But what happened with my situation is so unique is because I came to DC, I moved up here, I slept on people's floors that be in my son's life. So by the time I went back to court, the judge pretty much said, you got to make him a mass murderer for us not to grant what he asking for. So since 2018 till 2021, I've been living in Washington D.C. and I see my son every week. And through that, and through every week and every day, I learn more and more about myself. I learn more and more about how stuff affected me as a child because I don't want that to affect my son. I don't want my son to have to worry about his dad not being there. I don't want my son to have to worry about you know, not being loved or somebody not caring about him. I don't want my son to feel like that. So these 3 years, it's been really, um, it's been a lot, and I'm still healing. But going through family trauma because my family, my mom, her dad wasn't present. Then my grandma, her dad died when she was young, so nobody knew what a man looked like. So I'm the first person going through this. So all I have is their experiences of what man did to them, and I don't have like nothing to really look at. So I'm going through this fatherhood journey, really like winging it. Really, just like I don't want my son to be like had to go through what I had to go through. And, I realized that I had suffered through a lot of domestic violence, just not really knowing how to be there for myself, putting myself in situations that wasn't the best for me, like seeking out love from people that didn't really have genuine love for me. And I didn't know no better because all I was taught growing up was to be strong, be a man. You the man in the house, you gotta do this, do that. You gotta do what you gotta do. So through these situations, I've learned more and more to love myself every day. I learned self-love and I learned like how things affected me when I was 16, 15, 12, how it affect me as a grown man. And every day I'm focusing to be better every day, being the best man I could be and being the best father I could be. So my son got something that he could look at and know that it's possible. It don't matter where you start or how things the situation you was brought into. It's what you have inside of you and how bad you want to be better. And that's what I'm on the road to be. And I want to thank Queen Afi and I want to thank my lovely host right here because Queen Afi really educated me about domestic violence and how loving myself was so important and how I didn't have it in like in the earlier stages and how it affected me now. So she walked with me through this journey of going to court and dealing with family issues and dealing with myself like introspectively. And I appreciate the time and the platform to be able to share my story. But anybody that's going through this, just like my OGs, man, you have the right to be a father. You have the right to be in your child's life, and can't nobody take that away from you. And that's what I want to say.
All right, you over there. I see your eyeballs starting to sweat, Marty.
Yeah, y'all got me
All right,
talking,
let
but
them eyeballs sweat. That's what you gotta do.
yeah.
Look, you got some love going on here too, because the first thing I had to find out who aunt is Aunt Rhonda. Rhonda says she loved my Marty B. She loves her nephew. You had Bonda Simpson say that you did an amazing job. Thank you, son. I know that you weren't paying attention to the comments coming up on the screen. You had a lot of love coming up. Andre Johnson said, you are amazing, Dad. You are more of a dad than most dads. Keep doing what you are doing and keep your head up, my brother. Nikwa says she is proud of you. And Rhonda says, great job, nephew. So with that, let's share with everybody, because you're going to be coming back with us too. Let's share with everybody how they can get in contact with you.
Oh yeah, you can follow me on IG, Last Man Standing Company, spelled just like that, or you can email me at thelastmanstandingcompany@gmail. And I'm gonna be around. Thank y'all for letting us do our thing, cause it ain't easy, and I appreciate it for sure.
Yes, you did an amazing job. Nope, it's never easy, but it gets easier. So make sure you just keep doing it, all right?
I ain't the last man standing for nothing, man. I just want y'all to know. But yeah, I appreciate the time.
Say it. We'll see you back soon. Okay, so we're gonna flip the script a little bit with our next person that's coming up on the screen. Let's see here. Hello, Mr. Bonds. How are y'all? You got to unmute because I muted you. It was a lot of feedback that was going on, so I had to mute you back there. But you're a little bit twist to our story here, huh? You got some experience on both sides of the page, I understand, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what you heard.
Every good story got to have a villain. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor because we got to make sure we're taking care of. That's one thing that is beautiful about Queen and her message. We cannot just focus on the victims. We have to focus on the abusers too. That's the only way you can fix the puzzle. So you have the floor, my sir.
All right. So first, let me start off by saying I'm Christopher Barnes. I am 47 years old, currently residing in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a domestic violence advocate and a relationship coach. Also a mentor to youth. My story is different because I was an abuser. Let's start with the word abuser. The word abuse is the word use. So anybody who's abusing is using somebody. Okay. I was taught as a teenager-ish that this was the right behavior. This is how you control your women. This wasn't something that was displayed in my home. Let me be clear of that. My mom was a single mom. My dad wasn't there, so there was no domestic violence in my home. I mean, I got my punishments and things of that nature, but mom was a mom. All my behavior came from outside of my home. I was taught by older guys that this is how you control your females. I watched these older guys check their females violently. They told me the ropes, the strategy. They gave me the leverage, the latitude on how to handle my business. And the first couple of times I did it, I was like, wow, this really works. Interesting. And so I remember being in high school checking girls, pushing girls up against lockers. I remember being in high school. Wow, I don't know what that face was for. I remember being in high school just going at it. Then it led into my adult years. My first marriage was tumultuous. It was violent. Like, I tell people there's a video, a song with Eminem and Rihanna where she says, I love the way you lie. If you look at that video, that's pretty much my first marriage in 3 minutes and 37 seconds. In 96, 97 or so, I got arrested 5 times for violence on the same female. That was pretty much my wake-up call. Like, dang, I can't keep doing this. I'm actually getting comfortable getting arrested. because I know they're not going to really do nothing. They're going to say, sir, go home, don't do this again. They never tried to give me any time. They never tried to penalize me any harder. They did send me the anger management class, which was also part of my overcome, but not because of what you would think. It helped me to be a better person because I didn't want to have to sit through that process again. I realized the people delivering this anger management never been in a domestic violence relationship. They never been in the streets before. They were educated, PhDs. They talk through their nose. I don't want to hear that. I need you to be like Queen Afia. If you're going to come at me, come with something. Yo, I used to do this too. I used to do that too. Don't come to me with your degree and your psychology because I don't want to hear that. And so between getting arrested and going through these anger management classes and things of that nature, that was my turning point because I was like, I just can't keep doing this. And I knew it was better in me. I knew better was living in me and that this wasn't the life that I was supposed to live. Why I chose it, I really don't know. Again, it was taught to me, so I just went with it. I could have said, no, this ain't right. But like the previous guy said, none of us had dads. So when nobody is telling you what's right and what's wrong, you choose your own right and you choose your own wrong. And yeah, you could look at it and say, well, you had to know that was wrong, but it felt right at the moment. And because it felt right, that is what I went with. I don't really know what else I need to say here, but that's my story in a nutshell. I am open to questions, though.
Well, you know, that face that I gave you was when you said it, because like you said, you was like, what you say? Wow, this really works. Like you got excited about it when you figured out that what they had been showing you, which you knew was wrong, you were excited because you said, wow, it really works. So that's why I gave you that. I had to come on the screen and give you that quick side eye right there with that thing. Let's see. Please drop your questions because we definitely have some more time for Mr. Barnes. It's not often that you get to talk to the person who's actually have been in the footsteps of being the abuser. Amanda Rain said, anybody who's using is abusing is using. Anybody who is abusing is using. There are so many levels to that. Thank you for putting that context. Bless you on your journey to help those from where you once were. So how do you find that you're able to help other people who are in the abuser foot place to actually get out of it? Have you actually had success, or is it more of a thing just like when it comes to people talking about people being in domestic violence, which is one of my questions I have for men, from the men's side, that they leave when they're ready? How do you get an abuser to flip the script?
Normally, you don't get the abuser to flip the script. You get the victim to exit the situation. Once the victim is out, then you can work with the abuser. But as long as the two are together, you have to really strategize and work harder to get the situation under control. But I mean, from my experience, I've talked to guys who actively abuse their women. In fact, when I moved here, I was looking to shoot a production. And a friend of mine said, hey, I got a guy that knows video. He graduated from Morehouse. He's a Morehouse man. I'm thinking, oh, studious. Let me holler at this guy. And I go to his house and I meet this guy. This is an interesting story. I meet this guy and his girlfriend. A couple of days later, we're delivering pizza for Domino's at the time. A couple of days later, he pulls up at the store with this young lady in his car. And I go to the car to speak, being polite. And I look at her, I say, what happened? Oh, nothing. I say, no, you're not going to tell me the oh, nothing story. I can look at you and clearly tell that something's gone wrong. And I said, did he do this to you? She said, he did. I go to the other guy who referred me to him. And I'm like, how are you going to refer me to an active abuser when I'm trying to shoot a domestic violence promo? He looked at me and said, I thought you would be able to overlook that part of his life to get your project completed. Bruh, do you know if the people who watch my segments know that the person who shot my segments goes home and beats up his girl, do you know how that could ruin my credibility? So I stopped dealing with both of them. I cut both of them off because birds of a feather do flock. And while I've never seen Subject A hit a woman, yeah, I'm believing that he might not necessarily be abusing, but he not necessarily disengaging the abuser.
All right, so we got a couple of questions for you. Your first question is from Shauna Moody. She said, what's a few steps you took to change your mindset? Well,
like I said before, I got arrested 5 times in 1 year. Now, I have advanced culinary training, so I'm very particular about what I eat. DC jail food ain't the good way to go. The Central Cell Block meals is not happening. The Upper Marlboro meals is not happening. And so getting locked up and being contained and having to eat food that I don't feel healthy for me, one, is uncomfortable, and I don't like uncomfortable. Two, again, the anger management things, when the court push you in programs that they think is going to help you, well, they help me, but not for the reasons they wanted it to help me. Two, also changing my associations. Changing the people who I hang with, hanging around people who tell me, no, this is how you love on a woman, not how you slap on a woman. Hanging around people that encourage me to be the best man I could be and not the best man that they are or they think I should be.
All right, look, I'm not going to get into this whole thing that I just heard you really say it was the nasty food that got you to change. I ain't going to go there. You know?
Man, hold on, let's be real, though. When you get locked up, you got to eat that food. Who wants to go do that? And so it might seem funny and it might seem minor, but for me, that was major, being handcuffed and yeah.
You sound just like that Capitol Police with the Capitol the evasion, the dude in the jail that wanted to get out the jail because he's a vegan or whatever. But all right, my brother, whatever you need, long as it changed you. Okay. Here's another question. What is it? Was it just about control for you?
Was it just about control for me? Control was a major part of it. Like getting what I want, like you're going to listen to me. I remember I used to do segments with Queen Afee. I did a lot of segments with Queen Afee. And I remember one time somebody asked me something about what was the thing I used to control the most. And I would say, I would control everything. I would get mad and say, my bath water is the wrong temperature. You need to warm that up. That's too hot. You need to cool that off. You know, it was 100% like manipulation. No question about it. But to be free and to court or date or be involved with someone and allow them to express their opinion, man, you just don't know how easy that is. Instead of always wanting to like treat a girl like she your kid. You know, she not your kid. She a grown up. She got the right to do the things that she want to do. And I'm not, next question.
Tracy said, wow. Michelle, who asked that previous question, also said, I'm glad that you didn't work with that guy because that would have also been a form of enabling his behavior. So she's with you on that. Your next question is, what strategies did you use to target the women you were with?
You find women that have I get this question a lot.
Tracy, I'm sorry. Tracy said grits would have been bull, and I'm just saying, all right? Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. So back to the strategies.
So Tracy wouldn't have been one of my people that I chose because I can show you my back. No, but real talk, you look for females that don't have men in their home, preferably fathers and brothers. Because if they got brothers and then you're beating up their sisters, they probably going to want to come for you. All right? And then if they got dads in their home, their dads are doing their job, they're not going to tolerate this. So that was the first thing you look for. Second thing, you look for women that have some sort of issue, maybe self-esteem, or they just need somebody. You know, you can spot them out in the crowd when you know what you're looking for. Like,
so what? Because I've heard, I know that I have people close to me that I know that their girlfriends, I'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you? And why are you letting him do this? Because I'm not feeling this, you know, and the person is my friend. But it seems like when one leaves, I could talk one to have some sense. They can find the next one so easy. It's like it's like a scent to it. So what is it that lets you know that a person has low self-esteem? If you could describe that type of woman, that the type of behaviors that exude that they're that low self-esteem woman.
Oh, they walk around with their heads hanging down. They might be, I ain't gonna say fat. They might be a little chubby. Oh God, it's been a long time since I lived that lifestyle. You asking me to dig some stuff up, but I mean,
wish you would come after this chubby woman right here.
It's a few things you can look for, and these women, they just want to be loved. They just want to be comforted and held. And so, okay, today's Monday. We're going to comfort and hold you. but today's Tuesday. You messed up, so I'm gonna beat your ass. But by Wednesday, oh baby, I'm sorry. The honeymoon phase, I'm sorry. I brought you some flowers, some candy, some chocolates, and I make love to you, and she's okay. And then it comes Thursday, I beat your ass again. But by Friday, it's the honeymoon phase. It's really it wasn't complicated. Like, and a lot of times women will come to you and you're like, so you want me to hit you? Oh yeah, if you don't hit me, you don't love me. Cop my fist back to Mexico.
Lord, okay. I'm gonna tell you, I got some extra minutes on my hourglass, but I'm not dealing with that foolishness there. Look, Monique Bonner says, do you really need a dad to know not to hit a woman? You have a mom, you didn't see her go through that, not judging, just want to say that. And then I'm gonna follow up because I think this comment goes with it too, from Andre Johnson. She said, you said you loved your wife, so by abusing her, that was the way of you showing love?
Well, the second person, when you don't have an example of love in your life, then you show love the way you're taught to show love. My mom and I weren't huggy, mom, I love you, son, I love you people. We functioned well together in the same household. Let's put it that way. There were no men around, no uncles, no granddaddy, no daddy, no older cousins. The oldest cousin probably was 4 years. There was no men around. So I learned by the men that I was around. That's the bottom line. So no men ever hit my mom, but yeah, well, shit. I don't know what else to say.
All right, so look, you got everybody popping questions. We're gonna bring Mr. Barnes back. But while we here, share with them how they're able to contact you.
Oh, my email address on screen is christopherlbarnes@hotmail.com. Of course, my phone number is area code 470-582-8304. I do have an Instagram, but I have no idea what that name is. But I am on Facebook. If you're a friend of Queen or Tosh here, you can friend me from their page. And yeah, we got
one more question. How do you feel for doing that?
I got two quick answers. Answer number one, I feel bad. I would like to sit everybody I abused down in front of me and apologize from my heart to them for the trust or damage that I caused to them, because I'm sure it took them into other relationships after me. And so it probably damaged other guys. And so for that, I would be apologetic too. But also, I laugh when I say this, but if you ever see a flock of women chasing me down the street saying, he did this to me, don't stop them. Just believe them and let them come get me and get it over with.
All right now. And you have Elois saying, thank you for your transparency, Christopher Barnes.
You're welcome, Miss Kelly.
All right. And you are hanging around and we're going to be bringing you back, my brother. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. All right. So at this point in time, that was real. Girl, I want to remind you guys, and we are staying on time. We have this set from 7 to 9, but understand we are going to actually have some education delivered to you from Queen Afee. We have some more men on the panel, and don't forget we have that safe space, and we are committed to being here to take your phone calls, because I know there's someone out there. If you're a person that you're hesitant for typing a comment because it comes up on the screen and it shows your name or whatever, don't fear, because we're going to have it where you could call in anonymous, and you could just share whatever your information is, and together the panel is going to try to help you as best as they can. But with that being said, we're going to move on and we're going to get to some more resources with our next person. Oh, let me get this Christopher information off the screen here. Okay, and you know who you are coming up, don't you? Hey,
that's right. How's it going?
It's going awesome. And look, I just want to remind you that although we know that you're going to drop some information on people for resources, because really when it comes to men, there's lack of resources, I want to remind you that we know that you have a Men Hurt 2 story that we want you to share with everyone as well too, because people have to understand that. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. I'm honored to be here for the second year for Men Hurt 2. I'm normally the DJ back there, like on the ones and twos and doing sound and stuff like that. My name is Devin Anderson. I work for DC Department of Health for the DC Healthy Start Project. I work with fathers. I'm actually the fatherhood coordinator for that program, and I've been working with fathers for about 15 years now. I go into DC jail. We do a program there called the Inside Out Dad. Also work hand in hand with the Department of Employment Services, where we do a program where I'm a master trainer called 24/7 Dad. Now, I'm going to be giving up like a lot of resources after I get off. Of course, it's Father's Day month coming up next week. I have a whole list of activities. There's actually 2 father-child workshops on the 18th, and there's a huge Father's Day cookout on the 19th. And just working with my partners like Martha's Table, Mary Center, Community of Hope. These programs here work with fathers up to 5 years of age, and they're able to help out not only with like parenting skills, but also clothing for your child, and clothing for yourself, for jobs and other things. So I'll definitely be shooting out a lot of information after this. I'm going to try to put it in the chat. If I could throw some of these flyers out there, I will, because there's about 4 great activities for fathers. Every year, that Martha's Table cookout on the 19th, look it up, Martha's Table cookout, Father's Day cookout. It's a blast. I think EU is going to be there today. Plenty of food, plenty of giveaways. So one thing that I will talk about, working with the men for so long, is that, I feel like they are kind of misunderstood in some ways, and also kind of left behind when it comes to community health. So when it comes to the guys I work with, you'll be surprised how many people had, trauma at home, even sexual trauma, things that happen to them, loss. One of the questions I ask is what is the one thing that you never grieved? What's the one thing? And to just hear some of the answers about it may have been the loss of a mother, the loss of a father, the loss of everything, whether it's the house and the car because they're incarcerated, and a lot of times we don't really know how to show our feelings, and a lot of people talk about masculinity and in like a negative way, but that goes on both ways. When you think of masculinity, you think of men, and but women also say, and mothers also say, hey, be tough, don't cry. Hey, if somebody hits you back, do what? Hit them back. Go back out there and fight. Other things like that. And we really need to be talking to some of these people, children especially, just making sure that they have a safe space to really show their feelings, and letting them know that it's okay to show their feelings. And some of the guys, like some of these old school guys, I talk about in the jail, we got to stop acting like we scared of these kids, man. They doing whatever, wilding out, and that's all we say. Oh man, they wild and we can't talk to them. Man, talk to those kids, man. They want to talk to you. I mean, go out there, talk to them. I'll tell you a little bit about me. I've been working with fathers for so long. Like I said, about 15 years. I had my first kind of dose of being a father. My wife was pregnant with my son in 2019, and she went through the whole pregnancy. And we had 2 baby showers. I mean, a lot of support from my job, my family, and everybody. But we ended up losing the baby. It was the baby actually died at birth, and through the whole process, they were saying this is a perfect pregnancy. It's a perfect pregnancy. We went to the hospital maybe a month before she actually gave birth, and they said perfect pregnancy. We went to the doctor. she gave birth on a Friday. We went on a Wednesday because she was having like some complications, and they said, oh no, nothing's wrong. You could go back. You go back home. But there was something that they that they didn't see that they were supposed to see early. My child had a heart complication where one valve grew in the other space. So let's say the left valve grew in the right valve space, and it was something that they were supposed to see. Maybe he would have had a chance, but he died. He died at birth, and I remember just trying to be strong for my wife, and like really for the both of us, and not really focusing on myself. The day after, when my wife was still in the hospital, I left. I told her I'll be right back. Her cousin was there and stayed with her. I left the hospital. I went straight home, and I took everything out of the baby room, all of the toys, all of the, I took everything out of the baby room so she wouldn't see it. So and she wouldn't have to see that because she just lost her child who she's been carrying for 9 years. I mean, I'm 9 months. I'm sorry. So just then, doing things like that and just not really focusing on myself. Luckily, I've been doing this for so long that I got those calls, from other fatherhood coordinators and even clients, like things like that. So just making sure that when things happen, that you talk to these men, because men need help too. I'm really grateful and blessed for my supporters, and for everybody who kind of reached out to me. It's Father's Day. Last Father's Day was the anniversary, almost the anniversary year of my son's death, and a lot of my boys hit me up. You're a father too. Happy Father's Day and stuff like that. So I mean, just keep those guys, just like just keep them uplifted when things happen, even if they think or say that they're all right. They may not be all right behind closed doors. So I'm definitely blessed.
So Devin, let me ask you something, and I'm only thinking from my aspect. I think I shared with you when we had one of our meetings that I deal with a group of moms who have all lost children.
Oh, yes.
And with you being strong for your wife and doing the things that you're doing, did there come a time when you finally had the discussion with her to say, babe, this really, really hurts, when you were okay with letting her know that you were feeling weak along with her? And how did that conversation go if it happened?
Let me tell you, I don't know if it was the drugs or what, but my wife was a soldier, man. When it happened, and they put the baby in my arms, and it wasn't breathing, man, I cried like I never cried ever in my life. And and she held me down in that moment. She held me down, so in that moment I felt like I got it out. I feel like she felt the hurt, and yeah, we did talk a couple of times about just just about what happened, and just going forward and everything like that. But she was definitely strong for me. I don't want to act like I was just the one strong for her. Definitely when it first happened. I mean, she was a soldier. She was a soldier. So I felt like I had to do the same when it comes to her. Going home and having to visualize that coming home. Yeah.
Okay, Michelle Ford says, I'm sorry for you and your wife's loss. And I'm sure that all of us feel that same way too. It makes me think, I was listening to a broadcast yesterday where kind of talked about how men choose not to unload things that they feel may appear to make them feel weak. So the ability for you to actually break down and cry in front of her, and the fact that she didn't think anything less of you. Did you at one moment before it happened where you think to yourself, man, maybe I shouldn't cry because she might think of me as being less than a man? Did that go through your mind at all?
At that moment, it just broke. The dam broke. I'm the type of guy who, I had lost early, a lot of lost friends, family and stuff like that early. So when it comes to funerals, I never cry. Grandmother, favorite aunts, I never cry. And the dam broke to where I could be looking at a movie now, and I could cry. I could cry. I could be looking at the movie and it would remind me of something now because that dam broke. That you know that blockage right there. So I didn't even really think about it. It wasn't even in my mind. It just broke. It just broke. You know.
Well, with sharing that transparency, what do you say? Because I know that we have some men out here that are clearly hesitant to wear their emotions on their sleeve for fear that maybe their companion is not going to be there for them or may think less of them. What type of advice do you give to that individual that's holding back their feelings because they're trying to look strong, so they're wearing this daily mask, the man mask on their face?
You know, we discuss when we're at DC jail that sometimes it is a time and a place type thing. But you have to make sure to deal with it. If it's you know in some situations as a man you can't be weak. Like when you're in the jail, you can't be weak. Even though you know people show their feelings. But you know it's okay with being strong. But at some point you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it, and if that's in private with a friend or you know in a group setting, I was offered like therapy and things like that, group therapy with other parents who lost and stuff like that. If it's something like that, do it because you have to deal with you. A lot of times, you know, when we get to my age, I'm about to be 40 next year. So when we get to our age, that's when we're starting to deal with this. You know, and our whole life we haven't been dealing with it, and normally it always comes out in anger, and that's in toughness and pain, and you know, so we have to learn how to really deal with it, kind of like slowly but steadily, you know, and just kind of because you could be holding all that in for, like I said, man, like 38 years. I just been holding in. I mean, never cried like that, and once it came out, you know, luckily I'll say it was a situation like that it didn't have to come out in anger, because I mean, you could get Hulk smash out there and just tear up everything, including your stuff, so yeah.
Absolutely. That goes with the comment on the screen. Delita Scott says, we have some men who dam has not broken. It's all on their shoulders. Absolutely. Ladies, we have to understand them. With that being said, can you tell them how they could connect with you? And we're going to be bringing you back as well.
Okay. Yeah. Besides my fatherhood work, I have my own film and sound production business, Divine Influence. So you can reach me on IG at Devin's Influence. I'm actually on set for my second feature film. So I'm very excited, but I'll be with y'all the whole time. And also dandersondmv@gmail.com. Again, I have a lot of information about fatherhood. Fathers, we are out there for you. You are appreciated. So I'll be dropping that information on the live if I can in the comment section about all the great things that we're doing in the district.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Devin. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm going to go to this. Lauren Cornish has really been doing her job. She has tagged so many people. And we had one person that came on and said, why in the world are you tagging me on this? I'm not dealing with no domestic violence stuff. Brother, just chill out. There's her message on the screen, Michael Moore. Good evening, King. This is a safe space panel for men to speak on traumas they have experienced. All traumas are included. So just understand, you don't have to be I don't know where I'm getting this feedback from. You don't have to be why do I hear myself? Anyway, the bottom line is that this is for men who hurt, for you to express how you hurt, okay? All right? Dropping Father's Day information. Hey, look at it that way. Yes, it's a Father's Day present early for everyone. Okay, so now I don't understand why I'm hearing feedback, but that's okay because I'm the only one on the screen. But next up, guys, we got something special for you. We're going to take a break for someone to deliver some spoken word. Let me find them on the screen and bring them up. Here we go. Oops, and let me get this banner down for Devin. Oh, Devin, you're still on here. That's probably why we have all of the feedback that was coming on. I still had you up here. Here we go. Bye, Devin. Okay, and hello. hello. And will you please tell the guests who you are, sir? Are you playing the stream in your background?
No, ma'am.
Okay, because I'm hearing somebody's playing the stream in the background. I thought everyone's muted. Want to remind everyone, please be muted in the background, okay? So I'm going to give the floor to you so you can share with everybody who you are and what you're bringing to them today, love, okay?
Thank you very much. My name is Michael Gwynn, and I'm a full-time social worker turned national spoken word poet, actor, and speaker here in Dallas, Texas. What I'll be bringing today is just me. I'll be bringing me. For me, I believe that, for a lot of men, their relationship with their mothers can often, not always, but often dictate how they interact with their significant others. I know personally that not receiving that love and appreciation from my mom and that constant ridicule and degradation instead of getting support and guidance kind of left a hole in my heart as big as Texas. So I've spent a lifetime trying to fill that hole. That hole and not having a consistent positive male role model created this emotional gap that made it easier for me to allow myself to be mistreated, not just by my family, but in my marriage and by others. So after years of abuse and manipulation and mistakes, I developed this coping strategy of creative writing. I wrote so much, I shared so much, I delve into my soul so much, and I'm now able to facilitate workshops with young men and women on the art of conversation and teach them how they can listen and speak and value each other's opinions in a way that fosters respect for their mutual truths and transparencies. I want to tell the men, and a lot of you already know that, hey, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's the bravest display of manhood you could ever reveal. So I like to share a letter I wrote that paved the path to my healing and renewed my relationship with my mom, my children, and hopefully healed me in a way that makes me the best man ever for the next and last love of my life. It's called Bastard. You said I was born a bastard. That's what you told me, mama. Dark moon of your nightmare, half and half, but not whole of a sum from a story retold over and over again from the center of my soul. I was just 3 minutes removed from being torn from the uterus of then back when the sun turned its back and shadows cried. And even though just a seed, I could still feel you bleed from daddy's dirty deed, but he was the bastard, mama, not me. I remember swimming inside you as you lay near death. And when you were well enough to feel my movement, your anger and resentment rumbled like thunder. And I wondered how much longer I had to be before you got rid of me. And even though I an unwanted fetus, I knew who I was, mama, your son, the unchosen one. But in the ovum of that moment, I felt you concede my existence, no longer resisting the urge to murder the unborn metaphor and leave me lying in a pool of aborted promises. And that day was the day I learned to escape danger by dodging coat hangers, jabbing with the anger of the desperate stranger you'd become. That day, I felt you scraping and screaming as you squatted to be free of me, and you almost did, mama, but I hung on, clinging to your womb like a dangling participle, clutching a poem yet written. I survived, mama. I survived to prove that statistics just don't fit, and I ain't nobody's damn misfit, and I can still hear you screaming, boy, you ain't gonna be spit, but I am. And I will no longer be a pun for food stamps or income tax, because I am more than that. I am more. I am more than just sperm jettisoned from the tomb of my father's already lipped affections. I am more than that. I am more. And I wish you'd love me like I loved you. I wish you'd just love me like I loved you. I loved you, mama. Still, you said I was born a bastard. So this poem, so all those times you beat me for looking like him. And this line is the tie that binds me to the umbilical of those moments where you made me feel like a weed without roots at the foot of an empty family tree. There was no one there, just me. I am not like my father, mama. I am living proof that flowers can bloom from deceit. I am not like my father, mama, because 1% of you inside me is the reason why I believe, and we've come a long way from belt buckles and criticism. But I just want you to know that all the love I ever knew grew to create me from you. And I'm and take all this power and all this rage and leave my heart and soul on the stage here tonight for you, because I am not a bastard mama. I'm a poet. I'm a social worker. I'm a man. I made it. And one day, my metaphors will open up heaven's doors and leave tear prints across the sky. And that day, that glorious, wonderful day, you and I will soar. Happy Mother's Day, mama.
Let me give you some snaps on that there. All right now. Okay, well, powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Do you want to let the guests know? Let's see what we have coming up. We got some we got some wow, powerful in the comments coming up. Wow, you touched some people with that spoken word. Mike, can you incredible we even got. Can you share with everybody how they can contact you?
Yeah, I kind of posted in the chat, but you can definitely contact me on any of the social media. You can Google Mike Gwynn or Michael Gwynn or Poet in Texas or any of those. I'm on all the platforms, everything from TikTok to Snapchat to LinkedIn. So I'm there and I'm available for booking if anybody needs a speaker. So I'm here.
All right, guys. So y'all see the information on the bottom of the screen. If you want to get in touch with him, just do a screenshot real quick. And Michael, we thank you so much for giving us some gifts here today. We know that you have he's a busy man and he has another 9 o'clock appointment, so you won't see him back. But we thank you so much for being here, okay?
Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Okay. All right, guys. So now, at this point, I'm gonna bring up the person on the screen, my sister. You know, I'm sorry. When it comes to being authentically me, if things start flowing, I see the numbers have not gone down. We're gonna let things flow. So I know we not on track. You supposed to have been on like 20 minutes ago, but we're not gonna cut anything short. We're going to have this safe space, too, that's going to have people calling in. But we're going to make sure that they get the education and they get to learn about you because, guys, Queen has a very, very powerful story. And she's going to unmute so that you guys can hear her. See? She was about to start talking with the mute on. She does that all the time. Hey, I hope.
Let me unmute, girl.
These brothers, are they making you proud, mama?
Oh, Lord, they are making me so proud. So proud. So proud.
They bringing it. I didn't have to get them. But you know what? Oh, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let you start. And I'm going to try to get this screen sharing up for you. You still want to do the screen sharing, right?
I do. All
right. Okay. I'm going to drop off. I'm going to let you talk to the people for a while.
Okay. Peace and love, everybody. Thank you for chiming in tonight. This is the 9th annual Men Hurt 2 panel and conference here today. I am Queen Afee, the founder of Domestic Violence Wears Many Tags organization. I'm so proud of the brothers coming forth, being transparent, sharing their stories, opening up, being vulnerable, because you ain't had no business, okay, telling our sons to suck it up, shut up, grow up, put up, be a man when he only 2 years old. Okay? And let me get a little bit more personal. We, as sisterhood, we carry these babies, these male children in our wombs, and we will rub our stomachs, right? And rub our stomachs and say, this little nigga ain't gonna be no crybaby. The harsh, cruel, mean, cantankerous mouth of yours that is causing the baby distress, causing that brother in the womb distress in the womb. But see, because you think the baby can't hear what you're saying. See, you think the baby's brain is not developing and can't understand. Well, there's a divine connection there with you and that fetus. Okay? And so that's why doctors will say I want you to have a humbling pregnancy. I want you to be, relaxed. I want you to, try to stay relaxed. I don't want you to have all the hoorah and the hoorah and the hoorah while you're pregnant with the baby. This is why doctors tell us this, because the baby can feel and can comprehend that through the divine connection to which that womb that is carrying him. So if you got yourself rubbing your stomach talking about this little nigga ain't no punk, you are contaminating the fetus of that young boy. And it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your baby father's fault. Because you two done made that baby and you're sitting there born in a child in domestic violence, verbal abuse. Might I be frank? You think the baby cannot feel if mom is being punched or kicked or stomped on, or the baby can't feel if mama is punching and kicking and stomping on daddy? We're born in children, Black young men, Caucasian young men, Latino, into domestic violence. And our pregnancies as women are not the experience that they should be when we're carrying that male child. Everybody want a little princess, but don't everybody want no prince. Everybody want a princess though, but don't everybody want no prince. And I know it because I know who you are. And I know about domestic violence. We're going to get the screen up here. Let me chop up my information real quick so I can get out y'all way. Domestic violence wears many tags, right? So that's what we're talking about with the men. I want the men to understand that, brothers, you have a safe space. You have a right to be able to share your story, okay? But you got to get support in doing it, because a lot of times, men as the victim, as the abuser, these domestic violence programs do not support you in that. They do not understand that. So even some of the programs need training on how to get our men to begin to come forth and want to share. Okay. And that is something that a lot of programs should invest in and really take that opportunity to say, Queen Afee, I want you to come out and educate us on how we can start getting men, involved in that conversation. Let's go to the next slide, please. I want to get through this. So support males in domestic violence history. Dr. Emily Douglas has a very amazing study that she done, which is proven that men are victims of domestic violence. Teen males in domestic violence and the Violence Against Women Act. I'm going to try to chop this up real quick for you. Okay, so why is DVWMT, why is the panel so important? Support males with an exit plan, support males with resources and counseling, support males with their evidence, support males with their children and their custody cases, false allegation cases. And we've heard through the men's story that our brothers are facing these issues. Each year there are 4.2 million male victims and 3.5 million female victims of domestic violence, physical abuse, according to the CDC. And that's also going to be included with sexual abuse, as well as stalking, that our brothers and women, our sisters and brothers are running neck to neck on this million number. You're not that far from each other in being victims of domestic violence, okay? Go to the next slide for me. So male victims, the history, some of the history is since the 1800s, women, possible victims have had the upper hand in the fight against domestic violence. Of course they have. I have undoubtedly noticed in my research, women call and typically will report the cases before men will. Wisely, let's carefully take Abraham Lincoln for an example. According to Michael, a history professor at Connecticut College and the author of The Inner World of Abraham Lincoln, Mary Todd, typically used words to beat President Lincoln. Mary Todd was groomed, ambitious, and aggressive in her specified time. So she even had a mouth on her that was treacherous towards Abraham Lincoln. Okay. we're talking about verbal abuse being the number one way that our males are abused. Our sons are abused. Go to the next slide. So it started a long time ago. Approximately 1 in 4 teen male high school students reported having experienced physical dating violence. We must do our sessions with our young boys. What is wrong with you? Why is it that when I come to the school system and I only want to do sessions with the males, I only want to have sessions with the males, and you guys know I do this, okay, because you've been with me, and our young boys are shocked. They cannot believe that they are victims of domestic violence, and it started at home with their mothers and their fathers, in the upbringings, in the custodial parent, okay? And then they find themselves in abusive relationships. So now they tell me, Queen Afee, my girlfriend coming in the next session with the all girls. Can you talk to her? Some boys ask me, Queen Afee, if the girl hit me, what should I do if the girl hit me? We are not educating our young men. We got to get better at educating our young men about domestic violence. Go to the next slide, please. Okay, so Dr. Emily Douglas study is saying here that her study confirms that a majority of male victims of domestic violence, 56% in her study, view the police as not at all helpful. Okay? And part of the reason for that is because the police are trained by the Violence Against Women's Act. So when we have male victims, they're not actually trained to come out and tend to the male as being a victim of domestic violence. So more men are going to find that the police are not helpful for them. Okay. And then you have some police who come out and they're smart asses and they cheat, man, you couldn't handle your household. You called us out here for a woman. Are you serious? Do you not understand that I was 5'5", 130 pounds, smacking my boyfriend out anytime I felt like it, busting his car windows out, doing whatever I wanted to do to him. So size shouldn't even be an option here when we talk about is a man being a victim of domestic violence. Because the size don't matter, And her study also showed that 26% of these male victims reported that when they reported the incident to law enforcement, they were the person who was arrested. So men, you gotta have your evidence of the abuse. And we're going to chop in that as we move forward. Go to the next slide. So some of the male stereotypes and stigmas is the media tell us men are just the perpetrators of violence and never victims, which the media need help too on this conversation. They don't know what they talking about either. Okay. Sexual orientation. Men who are gay or bisexual deserve it because of their sexual orientation. This is not right because we know domestic violence kills. It kills you. And because of your sexual orientation, I don't want you to die because you choose this lifestyle. I want you to live a good life as a man, as a male, and produce good seeds out here to other men about domestic violence and having that conversation with our males, whether you're heterosexual or homosexual. It should not matter. There should not be a profile on what man can be helped, what male child can be helped. And when it comes to something like domestic violence, okay? The stigma is that men are punks, and we want to try to get away from, saying that you're a punk or you're a sucker. And the leader asked previously, what are some of the things that I can say to my sons, to kind of help them along the way. We want to be able to help our sons by encouraging them to express what they feeling in the most ugliest times of their life, in the most ugliest the dinner table and pull them up and say, look, this is why me and your father is not together no more. Or this is why me and your mom is not together anymore. How do you feel about it? Ask our young boys, how do they feel about things? Okay? Oftentimes we don't realize that our males are being brainwashed in these relationships. I could not think of myself. I really could not think at all. I was having an out-of-body moment. I cannot think fast enough, so she smacked me, right? An abusive partner can make you feel extremely disoriented, sometimes not even knowing your own thoughts, right? The abuser's main objective is to take you from yourself, take you from your psyche to where you start thinking the way I want you to think and doing what I want you to do. That is the main objective of the abuser, whether it's a female abuser or a male abuser. The main objective is to take the psyche from you and make you who I want you to be, thought-wise, psyche-wise. So I changed it, and I'm going to do it through brainwashing you. Brainwashing your thoughts, shooting down your thoughts, implementing my thoughts and my ways into you. Next slide. Okay, assumptions versus research. A related assumption is that men who sustain intimate partner violence from their women partners can leave their relationships. Economically trapped in a marriage or romantic relationships like women because their incomes are not fair. The incomes are not suitable where that man can just up and leave the relationship. He could be struggling too. Okay, nonetheless, case studies show that men who sustain intimate partner violence often focus on these and other barriers to leaving an abusive relationship as well, including their commitment to the marriage, lack of the financial resources again, and concern for the children. There's a lot of men who don't want to leave their children in these situations because that other partner is violent towards them. The other partner, you know what I get all the time, which is bull crap. Queen, well, they ain't touch me. You know, I grew up in it, but my father never touched me. My mother never touched me, but they would fight all the time. Well, that's touching you. If your mother and father is in there feuding and fighting, or father and father, or woman and woman, mother and mother, and they're fighting all the time, and this is going on, this is corrupting you as a child. This is saying to your psyche, this is what you need to do in your relationship. Just like what Chris Bond said. It says that. It literally says that. That literally becomes their child's normal until they have gotten to a certain age and start, okay, if somebody got to be saying men hurt too, if in order for that young boy to say, okay, wow, this is not normal. So what I was taught was not normal. Okay? Our young men don't know that right about now because y'all keep calling them punks and suckers and everything else and don't educate them on the right way to think when we talk about domestic violence, that dinner table and everybody being healthy there. Go to the next slide. And the Violence Against Men's Act is certainly the place where we want to start to give men a space at that law table, at that policy table, at legislation, and explain to them that females need to be held accountable for the crimes that they commit against men, like busting them over the head, you know, or threatening them, or vandalizing their property, right? B says specific mandates. Male victims, no matter their income levels, are not forced to bear the expense of the court costs, protection orders, or rape exams. We want men who feel like they have been victims of rape or, you know, have to get a protection order to not lose their income as well. When they have to stop and go down and report this stuff because they've been victimized. C, wisely keep male victims safe from reasonably requiring that a victim's protection order will be recognized and enforced in all states. We want to enforce that men be recognized as victims of domestic violence in all states and ensure official police response positive and ensure that police respond positively to male victims of domestic violence or sexual violence. Okay, go to the next slide. We wanted that also domestic violence with as many tags has ensured that my screen is kind of jumping around and doing a number on me right now. It's been blanked out my whole screen. We are stop it. We're doing a thing here where we want America and those at Capitol Hill to understand that men are victims of domestic violence too. We want the brothers to have a seat at that table where men can be recognized as being victims of domestic violence as well. We want the option. Their stories as being victims of domestic violence. I do apologize. I got a technical issue right quick. So chiming into that this is important at the end of the day. This is my fight. This has been my fight for the last 9 years, fighting for men to get a seat at the policy table with the laws and having these things in place for our brothers to feel secure and that they have an exit and that they have resources, fair housing, and fair policing when it comes to domestic violence issues. Okay, so I want to throw that out there. I have been fighting this fight for 9 years on the back end, going to Capitol Hill, sitting down there with those people and telling them that I was the abuser of men. Okay, and I beat your son up so bad he could have died, and that something needs to be in place for our males to be able to feel secure in terms of them reporting domestic violence. Okay, and they have not quite heard me yet, but we're still a work in progress. So having those services there, the gender services for men, I'm not sure we want to head more towards gender specific services or if we can have services for men and women. Okay, housing, having the housing in place in support for our brothers who need to flee these relationships and go somewhere and be safe. Okay, staff. Do males need a more diverse staff in terms of domestic violence and having women that are trained to really understand what men go through in terms of domestic violence, and also working with men to understand the depths of what they go through in terms of domestic violence, because I don't really think that women and men really truly know what that young male child is having to deal with when something like domestic violence is present in their life. Counseling. Of course, we want our brothers to get the counseling that they need when they're trying to flee this relationship or looking for the services to be able to, devise that exit plan, because men, you also need an exit plan to get out that relationship. Those relationships with these women, and if you're in same-sex relationships, are extremely deadly. You need an exit plan. Our teen dating relationships are extremely deadly for our young boys. They need to devise exit plans. And so we want to look forward to, possibly having these things in place specifically for our males that are experiencing domestic violence. Go to the next slide. So the tags are verbal, emotional, financial, sexual, and physical abuse. Our men experience these tags from the time that they are in the womb till they come out into the world. And you are raising them at the dinner table, and you're still doing verbal abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, and physical abuse. And hell, we don't even pay attention to our young boys in sexual abuse. We don't even give them a platform to even talk about being victims of sexual abuse. And you disgust me. It's disgusting. Go to the next slide, please. I got to tell it like it is. Men, that exit plan. You need an exit plan to be able to get out that relationship, because that partner of yours has already probably tried to kill you, okay? And don't have no problem with doing it. And that partner can also tell you, look, I'm going to kill myself. If you leave us, I'm going to kill myself. That's still abusive to you. That's still going to be emotionally abusive to you, because that person is putting a weight on you that is unfair and unhealthy in a relationship like that. So, you know, when you hear that, when you feel that pressure like that, brothers, you need to reach out and talk to somebody who is an expert, who understands that men hurt too. Okay? Don't be afraid to reach out. And your evidence journal, that's what I'm saying. Brothers, you're going to need evidence to prove that you are the victim, because again, the law does not cover you in terms of you know, the he said, she said piece. You know, you really want to make sure you have your evidence in place, your videos, your text messages, your records, you know, whatever that is, those Facebook messages and things that women do so cruelly blast you all on Facebook and say all of these. I got some things that I can say about some brothers, okay? Because I've been a victim of domestic violence too. But I'm not about to do that, because the brothers need help, whether they are the victim or the abuser. They need help. And this is where your evidence comes into play at, brothers. If you are going through an abusive situation with someone, a marriage, you know, it happens on your job where you can experience the abuse there. It happens in the prison system where you need to talk to somebody there. You got to reach out and have your evidence in place to prove it, because America does not initially believe that men are victims of domestic violence. And it's sad. Go on to the next slide. It's just sad. And of course, thank you for chiming into the Men Hurt Too panel. And my short segment is the conference piece that I want to throw that information out there to you all. You know, you can always reach out to Queen of Fee. I'm working with multiple men, because I work with multiple men, work with multiple young men. I work with my own son, who's 18 years old, getting him up to par with understanding this conversation, and that if he is a victim of domestic violence, then he needs to reach out and talk about it. Brothers, you have got to don't nobody got to know. And that's what you're going to find out in the safe space coming up. Don't nobody have to know that you are a victim. You can reach out in secret. You can reach out in secret and get that help that you need. Don't nobody have to know that. Thank you for chiming in. I'm looking forward to the safe space. Thank you all. I love you so much. That's why I cuss you out and tell you the truth and bring that education to you and keep it firm, because you need to hear the truth about our male population and them suffering with something like domestic violence and mental health. Thank you for letting me share.
All right, look, before I let you go, because I know she was like, she don't want no questions. I don't know if this is because you came in with, are you on a cell phone now? Because we're getting feedback now with your new connection.
Yeah, I had to block it out to the cell phone.
So we need the earbuds with it. But what I do want to do is, Queen, I want to point out more about how important what you are doing. And you can hear me. Let's try to mute you out for right now.
Mute me out for now.
Okay, let me find you. Okay, you're muted out right now. When I did this, guys, just to take a say to everybody who's on here, and Tanya Brunson, please know I'm gonna bring up what you talked about later on, so we can make sure that you have some resources. Matter of fact, Devin might be able to see it. If there's any recommendations that about how a mother can get help with her son who needs counseling, a good counseling, and one that they can find that could take their insurance so she can afford it, if you could do that. But I'm going to my text messages, Queen. I just want you to know that when I shared the information about this broadcast, I got a text message from someone who actually is a former attorney and also a judge. and they are limited with what they can say. But this was the message that they gave to me. You know, I'm not allowed to speak on certain things. This is the least powerful but powerful job ever. But I'm so glad you are doing a show on male domestic violence victims. I had a particular case where we had a video of a woman beating up my client with him in a corner trying to protect himself. And when she found out, he finally went to the police. She ran and got a protective order. Even though we showed the tape, the judge granted her a protective order. And even when another judge convicted her of assaulting him, she looked at my client and said, "But you provoked me." The judge said, "But you provoked me." Can you imagine a judge telling a woman that she provoked the man that beat her when there's videotape showing differently? I tried so much to get clients who were abused to come forward, but they just they were just too ashamed to even share. So guys, what we're doing here is very, very, very powerful. I am going to start bringing, we're getting ready to move into our safe space portion of this. And again, I'm going to give out a phone number that's going to allow you guys to call in, and you can, I hope that the person that's scared to type because you don't want your name on the screen or whatever, that you call in. But if you're someone else that's in the audience and you just want to hear your voice on here, fine. But I really want the brothers who need to talk to come forward. And one thing that I always know is that when someone comes forward, it's usually a result of someone taking the first step. So of course we had a great panel of people already that came forward, but we have someone who wasn't even prepared to be a part of this panel that wants to be the first person to talk to you guys and encourage you to participate in the safe space. So we're going to bring up our next panel person, and then eventually you're going to see everybody on the screen. We're all going to be on the screen to talk to the people that call in during the safe space. So I'm going to get you to unmute, Gary.
All right, we up.
And I'm starting this 5-minute timer. So you tell people about who you are. Well, I'm going to stay up here with you.
All right.
Okay.
Real quick, 5 minutes, everybody. My name is Gary Henson. I'm 42 years old. I'm an honorable discharge veteran. I currently work for Fort Belvoir Army Community Hospital. All right, I'm here tonight to speak about a whole lot of different topics. And it's so funny because domestic violence, it has many tags and it just falls so much into my situation. So I don't have a lot of time to speak my whole story. So I'm going to try to put everything all in a nutshell real fast. You know, me and my brother, we came up in a real odd situation. All right. I'm an Asian American, have Filipino and Italian, somewhat Italian. Don't know the full ethnicity of it, but, you know, a little bit of twist of everything in there. Outside of that, me and my brother, you know, we were brought to America. Well, I was here. He was brought to America, and we defaulted into adoption, kind of, sort of, in the situation. And we ended up in racism, being raised by a Caucasian man. During this time we were growing up, we were dealing with racism from his family, not him himself. And we weren't really, you know, talking to it about it much. We wasn't really understanding what we were experiencing. So we were definitely tormented through all of this at the time. Soon after that, I do believe I experienced some sexual trauma. So everything that everybody has been talking about, it all kind of relates to my situation. Around 9 years old, I was, you know, forced to do some sexual actions and stuff, which really pretty much opened the Pandora's box for me mentally there. It scarred me deeply. I couldn't even understand the makes of it until actually now, I mean, I'm sober. I can't really speak about my alcoholism, but it's so much more. Because like right after that, I know how traumatizing that domestically everything was going on for me and my brother. Because right after that, around 11 years old, my brother left for murder. Well, he left for life in prison for a murder. Unfortunately, somebody lost their life in an unfortunate situation. I'm not going to get too depth in that, but my brother has a powerful story that's way beyond that, beyond my situation. So when that had taken place, that's when my entire family shut down. Everything for me was gone, Tasha. It was just terrible. And this is where I found the first love of my life, and I thought this is what it was. I didn't have a mother, didn't have a father, didn't have no friends, no nothing. I turned to nothing what I thought would be what was the streets. And when I turned there, I found what I call, at the time, was my favorite thing ever. And it took all the pain of all the suffering that I was going through, was the bottom of an alcohol bottle. My first drink, I drank it, and I guarantee you within the first 10 minutes, all the pain went away. Everything that I cried about every night. And this is 11 years old. I'm going through this type of trauma. Thank God I still was able to gain through success through the years. I mean, had a child at 16. I mean, it keeps on going, still going through life, trying to be positive, staying balanced in life, positive, negative. So I'm staying in between, still going on through more, joined the military, got in the service, dealt with some military trauma, dealing with PTSD. I mean, the story keeps on going. I got some more stuff that's even bone rattling, even deeper than that. So I'm trying to fill it all in together real quickly because all of this is kind of domestic related. It all comes together. Alcoholism is a big thing of mine. I'm recovering for 30 years of alcoholism. That started at 11. I'm 42. I just cracked it 41. About 9 months ago, I found myself in a recovery. I spiraled completely out of control. I lost almost everything that I've ever tried to sacrifice, and everything that I wanted to gain in life. I lost it behind my alcoholism. Said I wasn't going to do that. I'm sorry. So, I always said I was never going to be that man in AA, saying I lost my entire family and everything else behind it. But yeah, I ended up being that guy. But there is a smile and a twist to this thing. All right. Because behind that, like my friend Leonard was saying earlier, and all the other men that's experienced this, I had a spiritual divine intervention, and my higher power came to me, and he gave me a choice between life and death. And I chose life. And unfortunately, a lot of brothers out here choose death. And that's a conversation that we can have on another time. Alcoholism and drug addiction will progressively kill you. It's a disease that will progressively progress on and kill you. I'm moving on forward into this thing, and I know a lot more about alcoholism and how it destroys the brain. That's another conversation we can have a whole nother time. But I just want to wrap all this thing and correlate it all together as a whole, that everything that I came through, and it's so much more alcoholism through the domestic violence early in life, the racism, the sexual trauma, no family, nothing, having nobody. The alcoholism was formed, going through life. I have 3 different children from 3 different women. I have to be raw and uncut with this. I'm going on my 2nd divorce. I've lost everything behind the sickness that I've created at 11 through trauma. I've now found it at 42 that I found myself in sobriety and recovery right now. I'm fighting every day. I pray every day.
It's all right. Go ahead. That's why I'm up here with you. It's all right.
I ain't dropped no tear yet, though. I ain't dropped no tear.
Well, you need to. Why you holding it back?
I'm here to heal. All right, I'm here to cry. I ain't here to heal. I'm here to heal.
And crying is part of your healing too.
I know my time is short, and I just want to say real quick, I want to give a shout out.
No, let's talk about this crying that you're trying to fight right here, because you say you're here for healing. Do I need to bring a queen up here on the screen too?
No. I can tap into that. You don't have to bring her up. All right, I'm gonna say exactly. Yeah, I want everybody to know that we need to be able to do this right here. All right, we are taught very early that we're not supposed to express emotion. We're not supposed to cry.
Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Bonda Sampson, bless your heart, Gary. Let it go. Tracy Henson, it's okay, Gary. Let it go.
So y'all see these tats? Y'all see this? This all pain and suffering. But you know what? Look at this. We can look my life as a healing resource for the public and our children, our youth. I have 3 sons out here. Hopefully you'll learn from me. I'm out here feeding the homeless. I'm raising awareness for domestic violence, alcoholism, sexual trauma for youngins. I apologize for crying. I got to give a shout out to Queen Afi for bringing me out to be able to say this for the first time. I've destroyed a lot of things in my life, and I have been the abuser as well. I've abused many women in my life because I don't know how to love. The only thing I know is how to be physical. So if women had became an object, so I started treating them like an object. And here it is in my adulthood, I'm still trying to figure it out. And now, you know what I am figuring out. And during this healing phase of my recovery, they say it takes up to 2 years for your brain to function normally. I'm about 9, it's coming back. There is good side to this, everybody. All right. Y'all use my information, my story, reach out to me, anything, anytime. I got a lot of information about how it destroys the brain. I feel like a lot of brothers out here, if you would understand why you're reacting and why you're acting the way you're acting, not only one because of the domestic violence and the thing and the trauma that you're holding bottled up because you can't express your emotion, you can't cry. You understand? So you have those, and that creates you to turn to an outlet, which is alcoholism, drug addiction, banging, whatever that you need to do for your outlet to release this anger. But you know, there is other ways and other positive ways that we can rechannel this thing. I mean, I can jump from top to topic with this, but I think that if you understand why you are reacting like this, why you're doing that, because of the science of the brain, and I can break that down to you, you know, in another time. But shout out, hold on real quick. I got to give it to Queen Afi and Tasha. YGT and Queen Afi, y'all supporting this man movement thing right here. Hey, look, I'm just coming home from recovery. I'm just now becoming sober, man. You know what? I'm 42 years old, like a brand new baby out here, man. I got a new set of eyes and a new heart, man. I tattooed it right there in the middle of my chest, right? So I'm coming back out here learning this whole thing new, like walking down the street, listening to the birds, man. I never knew it was a good thing, but I love it now. I'm doing things that are different. So real quick, if you're listening in to the youngins and the youth, you can take your life and my story and look at it like this. The only way that you can make gold and silver shiny is if you beat on it, you bang on it, you burn it, you drag it, all right? Once you do all these things to it, and you burn it again, and you drag it again, right? At the end of this process, you become shiny. It becomes beautiful, like gold and silver. And that's my life, like Leonard, like me, like Queen Afi, like Tasha, and the rest of the thousands and thousands and thousands of brothers and sisters that got stories like mine that don't want to share it, are afraid. But guess what? The silence is broken tonight. I'm coming out live with it. I'm coming direct, man, straight to the gut. I cried a little bit, feel a little bit better about it. Actually about to smile now. So I was telling a friend of mine earlier today about this new emotion I got, because it's about crying, laughing, joking, joning. I mean, all of it, all bottled up in one. And so when people are looking at me, I got a face that's looked on me where I'm crying, but I'm kicking and I'm punching, I'm laughing all at one time, and it's all coming out. And the only thing I can think about to do is just be positive and go serve some homeless people, because I don't know what else to do. Because I'm just telling you what, that shit keeps me happy and it keeps me positive. And I'm doing that tomorrow, Sunday morning, 8 a.m. YGT. I'm passing on over, man. Look, I can drop this all day.
They can get on my page and they can come join us. DMV coming out with a Sunday. But look, I'm gonna stop here, y'all guys. The safe space phone number is on here. But Gary, I got the text from Mama said, put me on the screen. And Leonard gave you a private message in the chat, and I wanted him to come on because he could relate to you and talk to you too. Because I know I've only been interacting with you for a little bit of time.
Yeah, you told me about my man.
But with you, Gary, I know that you have a level of a mask that is still on.
Mm-hmm.
You have a level of a mask that is still on, and for whatever reason, God intertwined you and me together, because he know I have connections and people like Queen Afi to bring us a Leonard. And someone in the comments said, brother, it's okay to cry, because you got a whole panel of brothers on here that can help you get through it. Because there's something that you could tell people right now, Gary, that someone else hasn't been through. But there's someone else on this panel that's gone through where you haven't gone, that could tell you and let you know that no matter what, God got you.
Yeah.
No matter what, if you fall off of it, he got you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they say crying is part of the healing process. So I'm experiencing.
That's what I need from you, Gary.
Yes, ma'am.
I need you to use the 2 ears and close the mouth for right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to Queen, because I know Queen got something for you. That's what I need for you. I need you to listen right now, because I love you.
All right.
You can feel free to cry all you want to. You know, that is a part of the healing process. That's what we need more men to do. We need more young men to be able to feel, because it's showing that you're learning to feel that trauma. You're feeling what you've been going through. You haven't felt it. So you crying the tears of the 7-year-old. You crying the tears of the 9-year-old. You crying the tears of the 11-year-old. You crying the tears of the 13-year-old.
Yeah.
You crying the tears of a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
You crying all of those tears all this time later because of your struggles that you have gone through. You know, if we could have caught you at that dinner table early on at 7, you wouldn't be crying for the 7-year-old right now.
Hey, yeah, that's right.
So you can cry all you want to because it's our fault that you was not able to be a child and feel what you needed to feel at that young age. You also learn very well how to sugarcoat it like so many men do. You find other ways to cope. You know, you find those other ways to cope with it because you can't feel what you need to feel. And brothers, you have got to feel what you need to feel. And you got to feel it at the age of when that trauma started. Yeah. And then bring it on up to speed. You talk about the brain. So you got to bring it from that age all the way up to speed to where you are today. So hell, you ain't even gotten to the age that you really are. You still 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yes.
You still there. And you going to process each one of those age groups, and you're going to process each one of those emotions. And so you're going to find yourself getting emotional. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Folk just got to understand that you're learning to grieve those relationships with yourself, those feelings with yourself that you didn't get to do before. Which is why you are amazing for the safe space, because you open up the door for other men to say, look, I need to let some tears go too, man. Look, I'm still 10. I'm 50, but I'm 10.
What?
You know, I'm 70, but I'm still 17. Because we got some of them walking around here, 70, still thinking they 50. You know, due to the trauma, the unresolved trauma that they have went for so long, and haven't gotten worked on. And haven't got worked out. And let me chime on down here to Marty B, because Marty B, you are just fabulous, honey. Let me say something to Marty B. You stepped up to the plate tonight because the struggle that you face with your own child, with your own son, being homeless to be a father. I mean, you ain't finding too many men that's going to step up and do that there. Okay? You're not going to find it. And then learning to become the man that you want to be. See, I mean, you learning to become the man that you want to be, not the man that these women have said you are. See, so you having to reprogram your brain, catch it up to speed with who you want to be. And the great thing about that is that your dad is here to walk you down and share some of that good DNA with you along the way. And one of the most fabulous things that you said tonight and profound was that you don't want your son to go through what you went through. One of the most profound things that you said tonight. And let me tell you something else. You're doing the work. You're doing the work that it's going to take for your son to not go through what you gone through. So you ain't just talking it. You're doing the work that it requires. So if you got tears that you want to let down, let them tears flow, brothers. Let me tell y'all something. Let them tears flow. Let them tears flow. Because you got to catch your brain up to speed with them feelings. All right? Leonard, now you know, I done told you over and over and over again, you're going to be a preacher. But anyway, man, the story that you shared here tonight, giving us that 7-year-old, you know, who was traumatized and left out, you know, threw out there, and you said something profound saying, I just wanted to be loved. I just wanted to love.
Right.
You know, and a lot of brothers feel like that. A lot of young men feel like that. They just want to be loved. And they want to be heard. They want to be comforted. Mothers and fathers, you got to comfort our young boys and go ahead and let them have that moment that they need to have, or whatever it is that they may be feeling. Tay Love, you talked about masturbation. You just stole the show tonight. You talked about masturbation and pornography. Now, we ain't heard that testimony from a man since Kirk Franklin. But we do know that men battle with pornography, masturbation, sexual abuse, rape, and some of those things that fall underneath that genre. Sex addiction, when we talk about sex addiction, it's a real thing for our brothers. It's a real thing for our brothers. And some of them wonder why do I have multiple partners? Why do I keep getting with this woman and getting with that woman and getting with this one, getting that? There's some things there that could have been unresolved. And like you said, Taylor, that was linked to your father. Losing your father. This is the way you grieve losing your dad. That is so humbling. So humbling. Okay? Because nobody would have never put two and two together. We'd have said that, no, it don't show up like that. No, it don't show up like that. But it does show up like that. It does show up like that. And DJ telling us the story about your baby, chopping it up with us about the baby, you being a man and having to breathe through that process and letting your tears finally flow and being in touch with something that, you was expecting to come into the world and be a father to, you still are a father. You still are a father. Believe that. You still are a father. Believe that. And your son is down here, your angel, and proud of you right now because you giving men a voice, the ones that have lost their children, lost a child at birth. You you doing everything in right to get prepared for your son, and he not here. So let me tell you something. You have shined light on that conversation right there. You have shined light on that for us to be more compassionate towards men who say that they have miscarried a child or they have lost a child. They have feelings behind that. That hurts. Just like it hurts you as a woman, it hurts that male child, or it hurts that little girl, it hurts that male child. And Brother Tariq, you always coming in and just saying, man, what you got to say, when you going to say it, and how you going to say it. And we got to know that it's real, and by you being out there and having your story and working through your issues and making that connection with our young men every day about domestic violence and mental health and how they are in these relationships unconsciously because nobody educates them and sit them down and say, that's domestic violence. Like you said, and Chris Barnes, I don't know where you at, but man, you always bring the heat as the abuser. Chris Barnes, we could be on that subject all night with Chris Barnes. Because guess what? You guys don't allow the abuser to come up and tell that story. So how are we going to end domestic violence and you don't even want to talk to the abuser? How are we going to end it? So when I bring Chris Barnes out to share, so you want to hit him up with 1,000 questions. But you got your own program. Or you out here talking about the subject and you don't talk to no male abusers. Are you serious? You don't open the door so male abusers can get help. This is crazy to me. But we want to help the boys too, right? We want to help the male. We want to help those males too. We got to be compassionate. We got to be more compassionate about this conversation. We got to do better when we talking to our young boys and raising them in a way that they can be emotionally intelligent. They can feel. They can say how they feel. Throw the word out there. Get all the boys to the dinner table and throw the word out there. Throw cruel out there.
Yes,
throw
ma'am.
the word cruel out there on the table for all the boys. And let them tell you what they think cruel is. And move your little feelings out the way. All the parents, move your little feelings out the way. And let these boys get to the table and talk about a word like cruel. Let them get to the table and talk about a word like disappointment. Let them get to the table and talk about a word like affliction. I feel afflicted in this relationship because you always yelling at me. Throw verbal abuse out there on the table and ask them how they feel about it. Give our brothers a safe space to be able to feel what they need to feel. Give them a safe space to do that. And that's what we're doing here tonight with domestic violence way as many times. We are opening the door, brothers, for you to chime in. These brothers are here to say something, take your questions, take your comments, whatever it is. And you said I had 2 questions or a comment or something that I need to answer.
Oh God, I gotta find them. Oh.
Okay.
We've had so many. So I don't know why I'm coming back with feedback with somebody, but oh God, we've had so many comments since, and I think there's someone. Wait a minute, Queen of Fee. Here we go. From Vonda Sampson, Queen of Fee, please tell me, what do you tell young men when they ask what they should do when a woman hits them?
When they ask me that question, when a woman hits them, I tell them, get your evidence. Get your evidence together. You know, it's cliche with the walk away. Walk away. I was taught to never hit a woman. You know, the brain does not respond like that. From a brain standpoint, the brain sees that situation as a threat. Okay, so it's going to identify with it as a threat, whether it's a male or female who is putting the hands on them. So we can't say walk away. We can't say that. We have to literally, get them in a position where we're educating our young men, really talking to them about verbal abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, getting them to identify that this is going to be inappropriate for you to put up with in a relationship. And if you find these things are happening to you, you need evidence. Okay, because at the end of the day, hopefully they can have enough evidence to potentially file a report, or maybe say, look, I want to talk to Queen of Fee about it. You know, I want to talk to somebody in secret about what I'm going through. But I want our brothers to start collecting your evidence. And you do that in secret. You don't do it with the female or the male partner outright knowing that you're doing this. You're collecting your evidence always in secret. Is that good?
Yeah, I do not see the other comment. Guys, I do want to encourage you to call in 240-545-5695. Your crazy girl Tasha forgot she had the do not disturb on, so the calls want to come in while we live. So if you called and it didn't work, just call back 240-545-5695. We want to hear from you. There's so many different comments on here. Love being expressed to different people. Saluting you, Queen, for everything that you're doing for these men. Oh, let me see. I gotta come in here. I love everything about this. Salute Queen and Tasha for the platform, and I applaud these men for the courage to share their truth and keep evolving. So while we're waiting to see if any brother gets, wait a minute.
I gotta go. Hey, and what we doing here, brother? This is not cliche. We not doing no cliche work. This ain't no cliche work. This is real therapy that you guys are doing tonight. You're doing therapy tonight. Okay? This is real what you're doing. So people need to understand that this is not cliche what our brothers are doing. This ain't they here today and gone tomorrow. This ain't here these feelings today and they not here tomorrow. These brothers are doing therapy out here tonight.
Hello, it's your girl Tasha. Who's calling and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Terrence. I'm calling from Chicago.
Chicago calling in, guys. What would you like to say, or what questions do you have, Terrence?
I don't really have a question. I want to comment on the brothers because and
you're breaking up, Terrence.
Oh my God.
You there? Hello. Okay, his phone is breaking up. Maybe he will call back. We will see.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now we hear you. Can everybody hear him? Yes, we hear you.
Okay, no, I was calling. I said I didn't want to put a comment in the chat. And maybe what my phone was doing is indicative of why it kept freezing. My stuff kept freezing. But I wanted to say to the brothers, you know, as a way of encouragement, you know, it change happening 2 times. Once in your mind and then in your actions. And from listening to you guys tonight that everybody had their mind made up that they wanted to do what's right, and that's encouraging to a lot of people. Now, I'm for one, God bless me where, I have my kids all the time, but still, it takes a real brother to step up and say, okay, things not right. I want to do a U-turn. And you guys did a U-turn, and that is very, very admirable. And Queen of Fee, you powerful. That's all I got to say.
So, Terrence, with you talking about you having your children all the time, was there ever a time when you had to worry about not having your children, or do you have a pain moment that you would like to share with anyone?
Well, I never really worried about not actually having them all the time. But the thing is, when, my ex-wife and I, we got a divorce, and all I really kind of knew at one point was just being in the house with my kid. My oldest daughter, I was in the house with her all the time. My youngest daughter, when my wife and I actually first was separated, she was like 2. And then I spent a lot of the time out of the house with her, and that was a traumatic situation. But she didn't keep her from me. It's just that I wasn't there with her every time, all the time. And that was kind of like traumatic to me. And then I kind of got used to it. But at the same time, I spent a lot of time with her, but I was used to just being with my child every day. So, but I wanted, like I said, the brothers that decided that they're going to do what they have to do, especially the brother that said, look, I'll sleep out my car because I want to be a father to my child. That is like super admirable.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in, Chicago.
No problem.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. So anybody free for all, unless we get another call, just anything that you want to share with everybody, guys. And otherwise, if y'all don't call in, we're going to be done by 10 o'clock. Here it is. It's 9:49 now.
My man, go ahead, Leonard.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, I appreciate all y'all. Listen, when y'all was sharing y'all stories, man, y'all had me damn near in tears, because guess what? This is what we need. Hey, Queen, I love you, Slim. I swear to God I do, because guess what?
Yeah,
we need this. We need this, because we be hurting on the inside, Joe. And for us to have a space to get it off, it's like going into the ring throwing jabs, but now these jabs are counting for something, and these jabs are positive jabs, freeing us up. Hey, Tariq, man, hey, brother, I appreciate you too, Slim, because guess what, man? I don't know where I've seen you at before, but one thing about it, every time, man, we acquaint on this jump right here, man, you bring power. All the other brothers, y'all brought power. Man, my man, hey, dog, get ready. Hey, Slim, you powerful, homie. You hear me?
Oh man, I appreciate you.
You are powerful, bro. Hey, bro,
Amen.
You are powerful. And from serving the country to going through what you're going through. Guess what? All y'all men right here that's sitting in front of me and the 2 ladies up top, y'all are a platform for the voices that need to be heard, for the voices to change. That's what we are. And as long as we put God first in everything we saying we do, Slim, he gonna always make a way. One thing I want to say about Queen, man, when I first met Queen and heard how her story was tragic, how she turned tragedy into a passion of love and self-educating people from the loss of her daughter. I told that to her and her son when I seen them at the End Gun Violence Conference, because they both went through that. But look how she flipped it, a tragedy. This was a hurt. This was a sharp harpoon to her heart. But look at this Queen. She got the right goddamn name. I'm telling you, Slim. Look at her, Slim.
Yes, man.
Hey, man. I'm done, because I can keep on going on giving y'all flowers while y'all here. But I appreciate all y'all, man.
Okay, we have a call that came in. Caller, where are you calling from? Who's calling, and where are you calling from?
Oh, this is Christopher Barnes. I just had to leave my house. I wanted to call the fellas and thank y'all for showing up and showing out and doing your thing. I don't remember names, but my man in the white T-shirt, man, I like your story, brother, man. I feel the connection to you. The guy that moved from Atlanta to D.C. to get his kid, yo, big ups to you, my friend. And the last guy, the guy that didn't want to cry, bro, it's okay, bro. My phone number. If you need a brother to cry with, you can call me anytime, bro. I'm the man for you.
That's what's up.
Big ups to Queen of C for doing your thing again. I don't know, this is like my third or fourth Men Her 2 panel.
Yeah, this is the third or fourth Men Her 2 panel, bro.
Big ups to you for keeping it going. I'm back now, so you can include me in future projects. Big ups to Tosh, man. You hosted the hell out this joint, yo. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I'm on my way to my job. I gotta go check out my store. I appreciate y'all, fellas. I'm in Atlanta, but we can connect some kind of way because, you know, we can bridge the gap between DC and Atlanta, kind of like gap insurance for your car. We can be gap insurance for these young people and these domestic violence couples, and we can do this thing.
I got some business partners in Atlanta. You know, if Queen want to take something down to Atlanta, I could do some business while I'm down there too and hold this down there in person too. Okay.
I'm trying to come too. I'm with it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And I hope to see your face in the place.
All right. All right. Thank you, Christopher. Okay, guys, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna
Taylor,
piggyback
go ahead and spill the beans, Taylor.
Celeste said, I love y'all. Learned so much from this panel. Keep it going, everyone. Fonzo Howard. You been on here, Fonzo Howard, quiet. Oh, he been on here quiet. He said, thank you all. But what you been on here quiet for, man? Oh, I'm going to call you tomorrow. Why you been quiet? Anyway, go ahead, guys.
Yeah. What you were saying, Queen?
I said, now, how you feel?
I feel relieved now. You know, I've been working through it, and I feel inspired to know, you know, that it's others that understand. Yeah, because that healing journey can feel lonely, but it's so powerful to be a part of this community now. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, very good. Marty B, so you dried your tears up, and what are you feeling now? We can't hear you.
Man.
Because you had a couple of people come on and say about you saying what you did for your son.
Yeah.
I mean, we just think this is amazing.
Man, like I said, like I'm in like a healing phase right now. So like I'm just like being there for myself right now. But that was like I'm just happy that I you know, I put my mind to it and I actually did it, you know, more than anything. I proved to myself that I could do it. And that's like the biggest thing out of everything is like proving to myself that I could be something I never seen, or I could, you know, I could go and just take all obstacles and just be a protector.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah. So
because a lot of young men are stuck there with their question. I'm sure DJ and Brother Tariq, y'all seen it. Where the young boy is stuck in that place like, what man am I supposed to be? And I got a son. They say this to you guys. They said to me, I got a son, and I don't even know what type of man I'm supposed to be. How much of this is a struggle for our young men? One of y'all respond quickly.
I would
say,
go quick. Oh no, yeah, real quick, because I definitely apologize, and I'm thankful for y'all putting up with me, because I'm doing multiple films this week and next week, but I think one of the problems is, again, that we're not talking about it, and those kids are the sponge. You know, they just soak it up. So if they see us not dealing with it and they see us not talking about it, then they're not going to talk about it. We got to be that example at all times, and that's all I had to really say is just being that example and making sure that they see us talk about it. Talk to them. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I would definitely chime in by saying, you know, and echo what my man just said. It's definitely the thing of them not hearing it. You know, when I had these conversations with a lot of my young men, especially, they always say to me, they appreciate me being so direct and so straightforward with them. You know, I sort of pride myself, and that's why I named my business the way I did it, keep it real, you know, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You know, I think when I first met you, Queen, the first thing I asked you when you asked me to speak was, can I be straightforward with it? You know, can I be real? And I respect the fact that you allow not only myself but so many other men, because I mean, I guess I'm the old head with this group because I've been with you for so long, but I mean, I'm honored to be with these men. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, for me to meet the men and to see the fortitude that they have to speak the way they have spoken, you know, that's what we need. You know, to be honest, you know, I had a young man that literally cried in my car one day just a few weeks ago because of an experience that he was going through, you know, and for him to be so open and straightforward with that, you know, that spoke, you know, that spoke big, you know, to him because it was something that he was trying to do and he just felt like things was crashing in on him, you know, and for him to break out with those tears, and then later on he came to me, he said to me, you know, man, I ain't got no father figure, you know, so for the things that you doing for me, Mr. Tariq, you know, it's big because I ain't got nobody around me that I can really go to like that. So it's not necessarily just also that the young men need to hear it, but they need to feel it, they need to see it, they need to be exposed to it, you know, and a lot of them, they just missing out on it, you know. They'll learn how to shoot dice before they learn how to, you know, deal with their feelings. You know, they'll learn how to roll a J up before they know how to speak fully. You know, you ask the average kid, you know, what's up? Nothing. What you doing? Chilling, cooling. You learn to use your words, express yourself. And I don't, and that's the one thing I don't do. I don't allow them to use those negative statements like that. You know, we got to learn how to use our words because we get so customary to just, you know, trying to fit the norm. And that's not necessary. This is the new norm. You know, being honest with your feelings, being open to your emotions. That's what we got to be able to do. So, I mean, I applaud everybody on this panel, and I definitely applaud you, Queen. You know, like my man said, you definitely got the right name, and hey, you get high praise from me because I've always spoken highly of you. You know, I appreciate you, I respect you, and I love you to death. And I've always told you, whenever you need me, all you got to do is call me. I will drop what I'm doing to get wherever you at.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Look, hey, when you mentioned them words, I thought about Marty B and I thought about Taylor. What are you talking about? He's talking about the words. When y'all came to the classroom, what I have on the table for y'all? Huh? Let me hear y'all say, go ahead and say what I have on that table for y'all. When y'all came into my classroom, you come in the office, you get your therapy on. What's on the table?
Hey, you had them words laid out, though. I'm talking about words I never words that I couldn't even put the emotion to, or I didn't know how to put the emotion to. You had them on there. You know, because when you dealing with trauma, you don't necessarily know what hopelessness feel like, or you don't necessarily know what disgust feels like. But you put them words in front of me, and now I'm starting to realize that that's a part of life too, and you got to learn through that because you can't get to true hope without knowing what that, becoming acquainted with that feeling of hopelessness. You can't get to the peace without knowing the distress. You know what I'm saying? So I thank you, Queen, so much, and I thank you, Tasha, so much. You know what I'm saying? This is empowering. The power.
Marty B, what you get out the words?
Man, the words, like, I was probably in denial. I was like, nah, I don't feel like this. Like, nah, I don't. Like, I was in denial. You know what I'm saying? So it took me a while to even be like, you know what? That might have made me feel like that. Or you know what? This did make me feel like this. You know what I'm saying? So it was more just like accepting that, you know, somebody made me or something made me feel a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, saying how that made me feel. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, and that was like a year ago. So to be here and even talking about this and you know what I'm saying? Like I appreciate it. You feel me? Like I tell you all the time, but you know, I'm gonna tell you again, same with my man, like, you know, this shit, like this shit is a whole process, like day in, day out, because I was really going for what I said I was going for. So like to be here and be like it's behind me, and I'm like becoming who I want to become is like it's it mean a lot to me. You feel me? So I appreciate you, Queen, for real,
For
for real.
sure, for sure, for sure. Amen. Bless the Lord. Callie, look, you are just something else, okay? Moving forward, King Callie, you are not allowed to hold back any more tears. Okay, you're not allowed. You just have to say, look, Queen Fee said I can cry wherever I want to cry, whenever I want to cry, whenever I need to cry. And I call her on the phone and she'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah, I go to church. One time I go to church, I be crying. Every time I go to church, I hit the door crying.
But you in therapy right now tonight, and America's gonna see you crying. You heard me? But this is what America needs to understand when it comes to our young men. Do you really want to know why they angry? Are you sure you really want the answer to that question? Or do you want to answer the question?
Real quick, I want to say something to a lot of things that you were hitting on. Like, it's good to hear from a woman's aspect, especially for somebody myself that has like the perception of a woman to me has been real phony. You know what I'm saying? So my trust issues with women are like, I ain't really got none for real. All I know is like sexual trauma and then, being left behind. So it ain't no really trust there, but to hear you and to hear the backing that you have from me and the thousands of other brothers, man, it gives me that sense of strength to encourage to even step forward. You know what I'm saying? To come forward and be like, all right, the silence needs to be broken. I feel so much better. And I know Sharon, just talking about the things, and it makes me feel better. But I appreciate you, for sure, with the platform and allowing me to come out here and express how I feel. I was fighting the tears away, but they came, whatever. But I appreciate you and Tasha. You already know.
So let me hop in here because you had to get special intervention because you was trying to punk out from crying. Y'all like that? People stop punking out from crying. All right. When you don't cry, you a punk. How about that? You never got to share how people could connect with you. So I've put it on the screen a couple of times, but I want you to make sure to give you the opportunity because we got caught up in trying to make you cry. So go ahead and share it with people.
All right. Everybody, my name is Gary. So Gary Henson is what everybody go by, but Gary G. Kali is my Facebook. My IG is King Kali 27 and my email is thetriangle27@gmail.com. Now, the Triangle is a resource that I'm out here trying to create. It's about real life experiences. I'm gonna give a little bit about it, but the resources that I'm coming up with, if you want to tap into any of them, I got events coming up. You can get with your girl Tasha. She knows about them. Some events about homeless, serving the homeless, raising awareness about homelessness, different things like that. But contact me right there on all of that. And you can call me as well, 202-738-7899. G. Kali in the Triangle, coming soon.
All right. Did everybody get to talk on that? Everybody done, right?
Hey, can I promote something real quick?
Absolutely. You can promote something real quick.
Yeah. Okay, y'all. Once again, man, this is Leonard Smith. With my name right there. Y'all know who I am. So listen, I'm the founder of the Sober Living Project, and we in the Sober Living Project will be partnering with Chanel with Bowl Yoga. And what we're doing is something just like what Queen of Fee just did today, which was outstanding. We're doing a men's circle starting July 9th through July 30th, from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we basically will have talks on addiction, fatherhood, incarceration, and childhood trauma. I said karma, my bad, y'all. I'm reading off the fly. But anyway, tune in because just how real as the guys on here, we need more of that talk around. And this was brought to me and inside of the End Gun Violence Conference because she heard me talk on another female's platform and share my story, one of my other stories of the many that I have, to only be 35 years old. But she was like, I need you to do something. And I said, well, I got my own thing I'm trying to work out. She said, well, guess what? Put that with this. We're going to partner up and get this going. So guess what? She gave me my bungee cords and I'm jumping off right now and I'm parachuting. But this is going to be the first time we do it. So guess what? This one last thing. July 9th through the 30th, every Friday from 7 to 8, we'll be at Bus Boys and Poets on MLK. So come out. It's a safe space for men to share like we did today. We need more of this, man. Come out, support the Sober Living Project. We're breaking down barriers to addiction. We're talking about childhood trauma, incarceration, and fatherhood. We got to man up, stand up in a positive way. Hey, we're a punk if we don't share them tears.
My
man.
Hey, you know what? Though, real quick, let me back that up too, real quick. As we going out, we closing now. What you said is good. It's going to be great to be able to have those talks, because what has been happening in the past is our young boys have been getting locked up, okay, getting arrested young, and they get them on the other side of the wall, and then they want to have these talks and have these conversations. What we're doing here is prevention. We want to prevent our young boys from going behind the wall to get the help that is oftentimes no help. Okay, so let's start now at our dinner tables. Let's start now with Leonard supporting, Callie supporting our brothers out here that want to move forward and have that conversation. Okay, don't be. This is prevention. What we doing? We don't want our brothers to get locked up and go over the wall. It's almost too late then. We got to catch them before that happens. So let's do prevention. This is what we did here tonight. This is what this panel is about. Prevention, therapy, having those survival stories of men. Happy Father's Day to all the men. Happy birthday again to our brother Lenny. He gave up his birthday to be here with us. You go in the back party for me. Throw, a couple of go-go shouts out for your girl Queen while you in there, okay? But happy Father's Day to all the men, okay? And this right here was a release. You're going to be a better father this year. You're going to feel something different because you done got your therapy. You done worked through it. This going to prep you ready to be a father when Father's Day come around, okay? So you might find yourself shedding some more tears because you done opened up. You done opened up that in you, okay? So all the men out there who are struggling, reach out. Stop thinking you can handle it yourself. You cannot handle it yourself, okay? Reach out. And again, happy Father's Day to all the men, all the brothers. Happy Father's Day to all of our incarcerated brothers who want to touch their children, but they cannot. We definitely appreciate you and applaud you for making those calls because they got to get on the phone and be fathers. And that takes a lot of work. Okay? So happy Father's Day again to all of our brotherhood out there. Y'all need to go in peace and love, and thank y'all for letting domestic violence wear as many tags to your girl Tasha. I mean, she just bring it to us, bring it in raw. She control the whole atmosphere. She tell us what we can do and what we cannot do, what we're going to say and what we're not going to say. I love it. I love it because she brings the realness with us and she allows us to be transparent on this platform. So we really do appreciate you, your girl Tasha. I swear I might call you up next year.
I thank you. And if you call, I'm gonna say yes. And I'm so proud of all you guys and stuff. And I just want to let y'all know, when I say my favorite word is bam, because I'm always being authentic with me, I don't got time to be around nobody that's not authentic, okay? And that's what we needed today. I wanted you guys to be authentic and I want you to be organic, and that's exactly what you did. I'm so happy that I didn't have to put none of y'all in the corner because I was so prepared to get into y'all ass.
Damn, Tosh.
While we at it, check it out. You ain't get this. Check your girl Tasha. I got the whole link tree down there. Just find me. All my links on there. Find me on Facebook. Find me on YouTube.
TikTok.
On Facebook. Find me on TikTok. I am viral. Give me some more likes. Help me make some money.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Okay. And just remember, again, happy Father's Day to everyone. Queen, thank you so much for everything that you're doing and the history that we have. And I want y'all to know, men hurt too.
We gone, y'all.
See y'all. Hey, Leonard, we gotta get up, man.